How's it going?
Yeah, what up?
Yeah. What up?
It's fun.
It is. And Jack.
here.
And we are getting ready for a lot of fun things
Welcome,
coming
everybody.
up. Welcome, Duke.
Welcome, Duke.
He's ready for the topic.
Welcome non-feds.
Non-feds, yeah.
I see you, Matthew. You're a British fed. I see your picture.
There's gonna be a lot of feds coming up if Trump's little protest thing goes off, I guess.
Oh, what's happening with that?
So basically,
Fill me in as we gather here.
There's apparently some type of, I guess you could say, signaling from Trump that he might be arrested because of a, I guess, paying of a past porn actress for sex or something. I don't know. I'm not too deep into it. You know,
sounds normal for him.
Sounds normal. Okay. Yeah, I know. That's like the lightest form.
But I didn't hear that. So you're saying there's rumors to be of a protest of him.
He was saying that people should come out, for him or whatever. So what's up, LS420?
Hey,
what up,
hey.
Greg? What up, Gio?
What's up?
Hey, Sarah.
Oh, I like your cat.
And just a quick reminder.
Momco.
If you're not on the YouTube, go to the YouTube, youtube.com/The Philosopher, and be sure to hit like, subscribe, notification bell. I don't have those animations like those cooler.
I know, I tried to.
But pretend there is one.
I was like,
and then you'll be happy. You will click the button, the bell, and you'll be happy.
And you'll also look at this profile picture with this ginger cat. It's so cute.
What's up? What's up? So yeah, that's. I mean, obviously, we're not going to be talking much about the Trump stuff because.
No,
don't really care. Well, minus the statism aspects, I guess. But
we got a monthly topic for you this month. It is March already, 2023. You know,
right?
Hey, remember when it was 2020 and like we were like, oh my god, things are being locked down. This is weird. This is Soviet Russia. What's going on? Mm-hmm. Or like Mao's China.
Right?
What's happening? It's like China.
Like China.
Speaking of Trump. Okay.
I know. Well,
all gun laws are infringements, Bob. I agree.
Yeah, and Beto's here. Thanks for your support too on the campaign. We'll be talking about that later too.
What's up?
Thanks
Happy
to
Saturday.
Super Galactic Fantastic Dimension.
Yes, that is the topic. If you see wherever the title is for you, YouTube, down here or up here. Okay. So, yeah, that's the topic. We're going to talk about how police officers disarmed Americans after Hurricane Katrina. I've talked about this plenty of times on my, pages, just as posts and stuff like that. But we're going to dig through and really get into the details here, go through an article. And, I'm just going to cover that.
Old issue.
I like how you're like,
still good. Relevant information for everything to think about. But before we do that, real quick.
Yes, I want to thank my patrons, and for which they're the ones who helped pick the topic. So thank you for picking the topic this month. And I also want to give a special thank you to our producers. We have Agorist Nexus here. You can check out his website, agoristnexus.com. And we have Beto Destrafa. You saw him in the chat. Happy Saturday. I'm happy it's Saturday too. So thank you so much for being a fiducer. Hope you're getting pho as a fiducer. And cjroasting.com. Speaking of, I'm running out of coffee soon. If you want some organic fair trade coffee, you can go here. We got a promo code for you, pho-2022. I know it's 2023, but that promo code is still good. 10% off everything bundles. So you check that out if you want some organic fair trade coffee. And Crawford K. McDonald, Taggart, Atlantic Healthcare. Thank you so much. Longtime fiducer, OG fiducer in the house right here. So thanks so much, Crawford. Yeah, cool. Well, just want to thank those fiducers. Without you, this would still be possible, but not as cool, So thanks. And all right, what do we have for you tonight? So in addition to the topic, if you were here for the last two streams, we are raising funds, doing a campaign for Break the Great Reset. And that is the next music video that we got going on. And so in that spirit, we're going to do a little game. We did this last time. we found out, Jack found out that I guess I threw away the dab saw. Sorry. I thought we had an extra, but it's okay. We got hot peppers, and that was fun last time, so we're gonna do it again. I got a bowl. Jack has his own bowl as well. We got some skinny peppers, right? Always reminds you of him. I know, I get it. And then here, okay, and then different sizes. And this time, the loser is the one that eats all their own peppers and this last one in this bowl. So, okay. So at the end, we're going to be like, loser, whoever.
Long peppers.
Okay. And the point is, we still have the game, truth or dab. We're just going to have like jalapenos. And
I don't know which one I relate
jalapenos. I'm sorry, jalapenos for my Spanish people speaking people out there. I'm from the West Coast. Okay, anyway. So yeah, can you give me that box with the game? Yeah. Thank you. So you see, it got chickens. If you had chicken wings, that'd be good. And then you can dab like the chicken here. And then there's games, so cards where you can either say the truth and answer the question, and if you don't want to, you can be a loser and eat one of these peppers. And like I said, the loser in the end is the one that eats all their own and this little one in the middle. So we're gonna see who chickens out and doesn't want to speak the truth, because that's what we're all about. We're in a philosophy. We love the truth, even when it hurts. So that's what we're gonna do today.
I think that's true. Yeah. So we got,
great. We're gonna go into the topic.
As we're gonna be talking about the past.
I'm gonna look at it on YouTube. Yeah, we're gonna look at the past malfeasance. Yes. In addition. So
I'm gonna go ahead and take us over to the malfeasance here.
Thanks, Jack.
My pleasure. If there's the right thing. Here we go. Okay. So I just so you know, for this, I had to do the Wayback Machine because just basically they started putting up paywalls for their stuff, at New York Times. As you know, they're pretty worthless, and so they're running out of money, so they're trying to do paywalls now. So we'll just use the Wayback Machine to talk about this pretty cool issue. And actually, I wonder if this is the exact same Alex Berenson.
You can see it's June 2015, right? That's the latest edit you're looking at.
Yeah.
Or rather, the capture. It may not have changed between captures. So cool. Okay. Yep.
So this is
we'll go through that history. For those of you that don't know, I think it's really good to bring this up to people, and especially letting them know why red flag laws are bad, and just in general, like why you don't want the state having the power to just take your property from you, even in the name of like saying it's for safety and guns are bad. It should not be a reason to violate your property. So, all right, let's read through this article. Police begin seizing guns of civilians by Alex Berenson. You can follow him on Twitter. Tom Woods retweets him. Anyway, all right, so correction appended. This is in New Orleans, September 8th. Local police officers began confiscating weapons from civilians in preparation for a forced evacuation of the last holdouts still living here, as President Bush steeled the nation for the grisly scenes of recovering the dead that will unfold in coming days. Police officers and federal law enforcement agents scoured the cities carrying assault rifles, seeking residents who have holed up to avoid forcible eviction, as well as those who are still considering evacuating voluntarily to escape the city's putrid waters. That I just want to say that happens like every year. Not this, like the police carrying assault rifles, but just people not wanting to evict and like not wanting to do the forcible eviction. That happens every year in Florida. Where people like don't want to, leave their home just because there's a hurricane alert.
For us too, like we don't, because it's kind of silly.
It's a warning.
One of the things that happens every time with the hurricane is that they'll say it's going to hit one place and then it hits somewhere totally different. So it's like people will evacuate and they'll be like, oh, I evacuated somewhere safe. And then they go to the place that gets hit. It's
happened this past year with that really bad one. That hit West Coast Florida.
We just hunkered down. We're like, yeah, it's going to miss us, isn't it? And it's like, because they said it was going to hit us, then it didn't. And we're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And we've been through worse ones too. So it's not like, we weren't worried.
And even if it was sure, right? Ultimately, you have that choice
up to you.
over yourself, whether you want to leave or not. And if you die, well, I guess that's your choice.
Right.
But if you survive, well, hey, you'd probably be happy that you got the freedom to choose.
Exactly.
So.
It's like if you die because you evacuate to the place that ends up hitting, people are like, oh, well, I guess that just sucks. But you know, if you die in the place that you stayed, like, oh, what's wrong with you? And it's just stupid. It's so hypocritical. Anyway.
Exactly. All right. Individuals are at risk of dying, said P. Edwin Compass III, the superintendent of the New Orleans police. There's nothing more important than the preservation of human life. So we got to go in there and we got to threaten human life in order to preserve human life. Okay. Although it appeared Wednesday night that forced evacuations were beginning, on Thursday, the authorities were still looking for those willing to leave voluntarily. At point of gun. Okay. The police said that the search was about 80% done and that afterward they would begin enforcing Mayor C. Ray Nagin's order to remove residents by force. Mr. Bush in Washington urged the nearly 1 million people displaced by the storm to contact federal agencies to apply for immediate aid. He praised the outpouring of private charity to the displaced, but said the cost of restoring lives would affect all Americans, as would the horror of the storm's carnage. The responsibility of caring for hundreds of thousands of citizens who no longer have homes is going to place many demands on our nation, the president said in the Eisenhower Executive Office building. We have many difficult days ahead, especially as we recover those who did not survive the storm. Okay, my impression of George Bush is terrible here. As Mr. Bush spoke, Vice President Dick Cheney was touring Mississippi and Louisiana, in part as an answer to the critics who have said that the administration responded too slowly and timidly to the epic disaster. At a stop in Gulfport, Mississippi, a heckler shouted an obscenity at the vice president. Mr. Cheney shrugged it off, saying it was the first such abuse he had heard. Also on Thursday, Congress approved a $51.8 billion package of storm aid, bringing the total to more than $62 billion in a week. The government is now spending $2 billion a day to respond to the disaster. The confirmed death toll in Louisiana remained at 83 on Thursday. Efforts to recover corpses are beginning, although only a handful of bodies have been recovered so far. Official estimates of the death toll in New Orleans are still vague, but 10,000 remains a common figure. That's great. Mississippi officials said they had confirmed 196 dead as of Thursday, including 143 in coastal areas, although Governor Haley Barbour said he expected the toll to rise. It would just be a guess, but the 200 or just over 300 we think is a credible and reliable figure, the governor said on NBC's Today Show. He also said electricity would be restored by Sunday to most homes and businesses in the state that could receive it. No one would venture a prediction about when the lights would come back in New Orleans. The water continued to recede slowly in the city 10 days after Hurricane Katrina swept ashore and levees failed at several points, inundating the Basin New Orleans basin. The Army Corps of Engineers has restored to operation 37 of the city's 174 permanent pumps, allowing them to drain 11,000 cubic feet of water per second from the basin. When all the pumps are working, they can remove 81,000 cubic feet of water per second, said Dan Hitchens of the Engineering Corps. That's so cool. God, I love engineers. Okay. It will be months. Oh, no, I know that's unrelated to the story. Okay. It will be months before the breadth of the devastation from the storm is known, but a report by the Louisiana Fisheries Department calculated the economic loss to the state's important seafood industry at as much as $1.6 billion over the next 12 months. Louisiana's insurance commissioner, J. Robert Woolley, said the state had barred insurance companies from canceling any homeowners' insurance policies in the days immediately before the storm hit and afterward. All cancellations will be voided, Mr. Woolley said. Across New Orleans, active duty soldiers, National Guard members, and local law enforcement agencies from across the country continued door-to-door searches by patrol car, Humvee, helicopter, and boat, urging remaining residents to leave. Major General James Ron Mason of the Kansas National Guard, who commands about 25,000 Guard troops in and around New Orleans, said his forces had rescued 687 residents by helicopter, boat, and high-wheel truck in the past 24 hours. General Mason said Guard troops, although carrying M16 rifles, would not use force to evict recalcitrant Recalcitrant. You mean like disobeying people who don't want to leave?
Right.
That's just like a long-winded way to just like.
What's kind of interesting about that, right?
Like, what a weird label, you know? Like, aren't they just people who just don't want to leave? Like, why do you have to label them? You're a recalcitrant citizen. Like, what are we? Is this the British Crown over here?
Well, anyway, it's interesting because it says here, it says that he said was a job for the police, not members of the guard. So here they are saying like, oh, yeah, it's not the guard who's going to point guns at you. It's the police who will point guns at you instead. See, we're not that bad.
Right.
We're not total monsters. We're just bringing our guns and intimidating people door to door.
But we're not going to protect you from the people who are going to do that to you. Okay. See, we're good. We're still good. We're not going to protect you from people who are going to like actually point the guns at you. That's such a good point. Yeah. Where do you want me to hear? Okay. So let's continue reading, shall we? All right.
Skip to the important parts now.
Yes, thanks. Okay, so Mr. Compass, the police superintendent, said that after a week of near anarchy, in the city, compared to what is it's not anarchy, the theft of government, praying around. Okay, I'm sorry. I went to a Ron Paul event and there was a guy who dressed up as Patrick Henry and it was just so motivating. Okay. All right. So Mr. Compass, the police superintendent, said that after a week of near anarchy in the city, no civilians in New Orleans will be allowed to carry pistols, shotguns, or other firearms of any kind. Only us, only law enforcement are allowed to have weapons. He said, only the mafia.
It's kind of crazy because not only do they pair it with this idea of like the city is anarchy because they got hit by a storm. Oh, but it's not anarchy to have the government literally take everybody's guns by force, right? You know what I mean? So it's like them doing violence. Oh, that's not anarchy. That's just nice, civil government, right? But people just peacefully hanging out in their homes and just being like, yeah, I'm just going to stay here. That's anarchy, right?
It makes you think that it's like a prison break going on and that the government here had to come in and like round everybody up who was just violating each other. That's what they make it sound like, that everyone left over in the city that didn't want to leave was like every single one was just looting somebody else. That's what they make it sound like.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, it's about to get much worse, this story. You ready?
No. I thought that was the worst. Okay, well, that order apparently does not apply to the hundreds of security guards whom businesses and some wealthy individuals have hired to protect their property. The guards, who are civilians working for private security firms like Blackwater, are openly carrying M16s and other assault rifles. Mr. Compass said that he was aware of the private guards, but that the police had no plans to make them give up their weapons. Right?
So how crazy is that? That literally, if you're one of the elite and you have your private security, this is like the perfect leftist liberal mindset, right? Oh, if you're rich and you're special, you could have, Blackwater private guards with machine guns.
But it's yet their literal gun control laws are what create what they complain about.
Right.
They complain about private crony corporations taking over or working with the government, and having a monopoly. But they're literal laws that, in whatever way, gun control laws, whatever control laws, like ultimately it's what's, creating this crony environment in the first place. It's what enables crony businesses to arise. It's when you allow the government to have the power to pick winners and losers in the market. It's as simple as that. It's so crazy, right? It's like, the same people who are like, no, we can't have like the military industrial complex, are the same people who are like, okay, we need to ban all assault rifles now and semi-automatic rifles. And everyone needs like a really, like one shell load shotgun. And that's all you got. Or like a revolver, like everybody, that's what they want. So anyway, we'll get back to what you're saying. You said it gets worse. Okay. Well,
there's just this last little part here to read here. So.
Oh, okay. All right. So New Orleans has turned into an armed camp patrolled by thousands of local, state, and federal law enforcement officers. as well as National Guard troops and active duty soldiers. While armed looters roamed unchecked last week, the city is now calm.
Like,
so, you see the framing here by
right. It's
wow,
so
Alex Berenson, huh?
It's so absolutely nuts because it's when you read it, it's like, oh, okay, so the city's calm because you have a bunch of police and federal law enforcement officers and National Guard troops going and confiscating innocent people's guns while they're at home. And this wasn't even just like, oh, like someone's living on like a pole that's like left over from the storm, right? Like they went to people's homes that were completely fine, not flooded, just normal, and went up to their doors and were like, give us your guns. We're going to, literally pull you out and shoot you. So
I agree. Yeah.
It's like, they're like, oh, it's peaceful now. It's like it wasn't peaceful because the police were literally there taking people's stuff. Right. It's like, oh, the police are here. It's
literally
peaceful now.
Double speak.
Just kidding. Yeah. We're coming door to door.
It's Orwellian double speak in your face.
Right.
Happening now. Literally. Up is down. Violence is peace.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's really, it's kind of nuts. When you peel back the sophistry and what they're saying, oh, it's peaceful because they're here, literally breaking down people's doors and taking stuff.
Yeah, I agree. The framing is really interesting too, because if, especially that one statement where it was like, after near anarchy in the streets for like a week, then the police came in and then everything was safe, right? Like, they don't, what I would expect instead is specifics of how many looters did they find? You know what I mean? Like, that includes. So the police came in and we protected all these people. There was like 10 looters going around, or we found a gang that was literally going around and robbing people and taking their stuff. I wouldn't expect some abstract statement of like, oh, there was just anarchy. That doesn't tell me anything that happened. And then them just being like, okay, so we came in and then we disarmed everybody. Like what? Right. Wouldn't in an anarchy situation, you would want each individual peaceful person to actually be armed? So why would you like disarm everyone like en masse? You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make sense why you couldn't just be specific and be like, no, we didn't disarm everybody. You don't need to. There were certain people that were actually initiating violence and stealing from people. Those were the people we locked up. That's what I would expect in an actual situation where you're coming in to actually defend life, liberty, and property rights. Instead, they come in to violate it for everybody en masse. And then they just excuse it and say, oh, there was just some abstraction called anarchy. But we're not going to tell you like specifically what we mean by anarchy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're using the negative thing instead of just meaning that rulers to say, oh, it's just chaos or something. But it's hilarious because it's like, they're like, oh, people who are out there looting and being crazy and they're being armed out there. That's why we need to come and take over stuff. Meanwhile, the people are actually going after are just peaceful people. So let's actually take a look at a video clip here, ABC World News, that shows exactly that going down. So let's see that real quick here.
Okay. Wow, 2005.
That includes New Orleans, where today authorities stepped up their efforts to empty the city. Bob Woodruff is there again tonight with an extraordinary human drama unfolding. Bob?
That's true, Elizabeth, and good evening from New Orleans. Here, the police and the National Guard find themselves in a very difficult position tonight to try to carry out an order to force people from the city without actually using force.
What do you mean?
Today in New Orleans,
they got kidding me? Not using force? That
right? Yeah, obfuscation. They're like literally sending guys with guns.
Are you
to people's
serious?
doors.
Did they really say that?
Yeah, without using force.
Without using force. What do you think coercion is? You don't have to like murder someone to coerce somebody. You can literally just have a gun and be you can even not have a gun. You can just be a man and like you go up to someone and be like, hey, if you don't do what I tell you, I'm gonna like pick you up and do whatever I want because I'm like way stronger than you.
Right.
That itself is coercion if you follow because you're literally in fear of your life.
Right.
Like you really think these people were like, I think I have a choice right now to say no. I think he'll leave me alone. Like you think anyone literally was like, bang, bang, bang. Hey, you gotta leave. It's the government. You think anyone in that situation really thinks they have a choice? you think it's voluntary. No, this is like literally coercion.
Got a lot tougher on the holdouts.
Police department, going home!
Not only the flooded areas, but New Orleans' driest and wealthiest neighborhoods, too.
Finger on the trigger.
The police and National Guard going street by street, house to house.
We need to make sure, too, that whenever we knock on doors, people refuse to leave. We need to make note, call it in.
They say there are no orders to use force, just strong persuasion, sometimes entering open houses with guns drawn, and instructions to disarm anyone inside.
You say guns will be taken. No one will be able to be armed. We will take all weapons.
That happened today in this wealthy neighborhood where homeowners had armed themselves to protect their mansions. Residents were handcuffed on the ground. In the end, police took their weapons but let them stay in their homes.
They were a little bit threatened because our weapons were bigger than their weapons.
For many of the police and guard troops, it is an uncomfortable job to do this in an American city.
Wow.
This guard unit occupied a church, using it as a base camp. They had to leave a note because they could not get hold of the pastor to get permission.
It is surreal.
It's like the British.
You never expect to do this in your own country.
Chris Montgomery says he'd rather be in Iraq than patrolling American neighborhoods.
Walking up and down these streets, you don't want to think about the stuff that you're gonna have to do if somebody pops around the corner.
Be shooting in America.
Yeah.
So there you go. They're literally saying
That was insane.
Oh, right? Isn't that crazy? Like, yeah,
that was like
we'll shoot
modern
American,
British army,
right?
Modern redcoats right there,
Modern
quartering in a church. Soldiers quartering in a church.
Yeah, they literally use a base camp, and they said we couldn't get permission, so we're going to just quarter there.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's, as you saw, it's very evil, and everything was doublespeak. Everything was, oh yeah, we're just asking people. Meanwhile, they're opening people's homes without a warrant and
pointing guns, literally,
and then
finger on the
disarming
trigger.
people.
Yeah.
As you know, it's as evil as it gets. And frankly, I think that the only tragedy there was not enough people opened fire on those, coming in. I wish that some people had the balls to be like, to gang up on them, take them out. But frankly, it really shows you how opportunistic the government can be. And that was as close as it got to that, New World Order 1984 come, to your door kind of thing, So.
Well, I don't know. It's crazy to be in that situation. I mean, at least the stories that they showed in that video, everyone gave it up. They're like, okay,
yeah.
What was their calculation, right? They just thought, should I open fire on these government agents? I mean, that is a crazy thing to have to consider when you have guns pointed in your face. And I mean, how emasculating is that to literally just have someone take your guns? They're like, oh, but you can stay in your home.
Right.
Okay, so now you're defenseless. I thought there was near anarchy a week ago.
Yeah.
What if the looters come back? What the heck? You know what I mean? That's ultimately what we have to be really outspoken against. That's insane that peaceful people can just be disarmed like that. And the media, their whole slant there is complicit, and just their narration that it's okay. Their narration that, oh, this is actually peaceful. There's no coercion here. Finger on the trigger, pointed in your face, breaking into your house. That's not coercion, right? Quartering in your property. That's not coercion. I mean, that's insane that they want to twist reality like that. So really, I have to point that out. Yeah, every time I see that video, I'm like, man, it's such a visceral reminder that, that's what our taxes are funding. That's what you're coerced to fund. It's a lot that we need to stand up against for sure. So, and the key is the truth. That's why we're playing truth and jalapeno. I'm just kidding. No, but that's why we pursue the truth. Oh, hey, Robert. Thank you so much. I guess on that note, we'll play a game. So he was in Idaho ARNG during that time and recalls some of our soldiers that were there talking about it. I heard there were places that they simply opened fire on people for simply being in a particular zone. Wow. That's like what happened. I don't remember that in the lockdowns. During the lockdowns, I remember a lot of people being arrested. I don't remember straight up open fire, but it reminds me of 2020, just recently, like people just going to the beach. We even had a friend like just go to the beach, totally nobody's there, and cops come up to them and they had masks and they're like, hey, you can't be here, you know, there's a virus. I mean, it was the most insane thing, right? There's a virus, so you're coming to this lone man on the beach. It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. But thanks, Robert.
No, yeah, I mean, it's nuts because, you know, the situation there was definitely one of the closest situations where, you know, I mean, had people been maybe more privy to what the government was actually going to do, I think someone here mentioned that a lot of people didn't expect it, and maybe that's why they didn't react, which makes sense. I mean, you know,
right, hard to react.
I don't think anybody was expecting
guard.
that. I don't think anybody was like, after a hurricane of all things, like, oh, they're going to go like door to door and they're going to spend resources on disarming people, as opposed to like,
you're probably not thinking that after a huge hurricane. You're probably like, oh my gosh, so many people died. I'm just happy I'm alive.
Right.
I don't think I'm just thankful I'm alive.
A specific like recent memory predicate to that where you're thinking about it. Like, whereas like now people would be like, oh, I'm watching out for that. You know what I mean? Obviously that would be something that you're a bit more aware of, just like with the lockdowns. Like now I think if they try to lock down again, a lot of these states, people will be like, no, we're going to just, you know, push through that. So I think they caught him off guard. I do agree. So, but it's crazy. And they were saying before too in the article, they said, oh, 10,000 people could have died. And as usual, it wasn't. It was like 1,400 or something, which is still terrible. But it's just, they always blow up this stuff to try to exaggerate. Say, this is why we got to come in and we got to, you know, take over everything and we got to save you from yourself kind of thing. So,
which is a prediction. It's not an actual fact.
Right,
it's on a
always the speculation. They always try to blow it up in the
see, without us, you could have been worse, right? And they want you to believe that instead of having freedom to choose for yourself. I mean, in that media clip, it really bothered me how they villainized the mansion owners. Right. It's the capitalists, right? They have mansions. Oh my God. They have mansions. They have their houses are so big. And it's just crazy, right? The mindset of like, wow, you know, that person has their own guns. They're not asking anyone to defend them. They're working with their own family to defend their own property. I mean, like, to me, that's like so cool, you know? Like, that's awesome.
Their buildings, there was nothing wrong with them. There weren't the reporter was there was some water to like make things look worse. But you go and look at the video they took of all the different mansions of the people they were disarming, and the buildings were fine. Like, they were up, the people were coming out. It wasn't flooded. So
it didn't look like, you know, a shootout had happened. You know what I mean? Like,
they were just literally at home and everything was fine. Like, they went and they took, I noticed for a fact from research elsewhere, they didn't just be like, you know, we're going to go to like the most blighted places where everything's like destroyed. They literally went to like nice neighborhoods where everything, you know, was fine, didn't even get like damaged or anything. And they just were like, there's our chance.
And those people literally were probably just holding out like, oh, I can't wait till, you know, things are hustling and bustling again. We're just going to hang out here. We got our stocks. We got our reserves.
Well, they could afford generators and stuff. So they had, you know, they had supplies. These weren't like,
but you know what's crazy? Who disturbed their peace? The government with assault rifles, breaking into their homes, taking their property. That is just, I mean, that is truly just in your face tyranny right there.
Well, in any case, we should do the challenge.
Okay. So speaking on that, truth or jalapeno. Thanks, Robert.
For that size, the super chat that deserves each of us pulling a card. All right. So you want to go first?
Yes.
Okay. So I pull a card for you to ask a question.
Okay.
Oh. Apparently,
Did we do this already?
It's a pop quiz card.
Oh,
So basically, with a pop quiz card, apparently.
Oh, pop quiz.
Okay. So it asks you a bunch of different things. So put your basic knowledge to the test. Get one answer wrong, and you take a dab.
Oh, cool. Okay. So.
All right. So, are you ready?
I'll do my best.
I'll ask you a question here.
Okay.
Hold on.
All right.
So a hot sauce must be made from chili peppers in order to be considered a hot sauce. Is this true or false?
False.
It's actually true. A hot sauce must be made from chili peppers in order to be considered a hot sauce. So you will.
All right. Next question.
You will have to take a bite.
No matter what.
Yes. Bite time.
Okay. Well.
You can go with a long one. That's good. That's where you should start. Start with a long one.
Like where you're, like the island where you're from. Long. Okay. So, I don't think it's gonna be hot if I just eat the end.
My understanding is that is the hottest pepper of the three. But you go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No.
Is it toward the tip so it's not as hot?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's okay. In the meantime, I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
All right. You ready for this? So, what is the scientific term for when you sweat on your forehead from too much hot sauce? Is it A, gustatory perspiration, B, accruing perspiration, or C, apocrine perspiration?
Oh. I have no idea. See?
That's incorrect. It's gustatory perspiration. You must take another bite.
This is fun.
You're getting closer and closer to the heat.
Fine.
Oh, it'll get hot down when you get down to the base. That's how it is for most women.
I have milk. Wait, what?
All right, so here's the next question. If you ate an ounce of chili peppers and an ounce of orange slices, where would you get the most vitamin C? An ounce of chili peppers or an ounce of orange slices, the most vitamin C? Chili peppers or orange slices? Or would it be the same? So is it orange slices,
Peppers.
chili peppers, you say? That is correct. Okay. Yay. Nice work.
I didn't make it.
Nice work.
All right. Well, now you know. Well, thanks so much, Robert. All right, your turn. Still for Robert.
All right, so let me mix this on up. Because I want to make sure
Pop quiz, huh?
that.
I think the truth ones are fun.
Yeah, the truth ones are fun. I'm trying to
Let's do that one.
I just realized that I may have put the truth ones at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Trying to see. Okay. So here, I think these are good. I think these are good. Okay.
Should I do it again?
This is my turn. You do
Oh,
it to me.
okay. All right.
There we go.
All right. Truth. Answer the question or take a dab. Who in this room is the worst at their job and why?
Oh, dang, that's tough.
If there was more people, you could be like, ha, ha, ha.
I know,
but
yeah.
it's just yourself or
Well,
me.
my job right now is producer, and your job right now is programmer. Are you a better programmer than I'm a producer? I don't think so. I think I'm a better producer than you are a programmer. Dang.
Ouch.
But that's tough, though. That's
Eat a
tough.
pepper anyway.
I gotta eat a pepper to own that. All right. I'll also join. I want to see
No,
what
you
this
don't.
big one's like. Look at how big that is. Like,
You want to
See
see
that?
what that big one's like? Okay.
yeah, I thought that 4 inches was average for these, but apparently not.
No. It has a little curve to it, you know.
Yeah, it's got that, that nice curve.
Everything reminds me of you. Okay. So I think those memes are
There's a little
hilarious.
spice in there. I could tell it's gonna get stronger as we go down the shaft. Wow. Okay.
That was fun. Okay. So I
we got
feel
another one.
slighted.
LS 420 Stoner. So he says, Jack, I fully support what you said. I gotta feel that sentiments have changed since 2005 and the two-way rifle range opened up. Yeah, I agree. I think that because of what happened then, now everybody has a different mindset. I don't think anybody was really like expecting that. And of course, now more than ever, if that type of thing happened, now people have the ability to message each other and stream it or whatever and get people on their side, be like, hey, this is happening. So I think it's not likely to go down the same way. And I would say there's evidence of that. If you look at something like Bundy Ranch, right? I mean, that's a good example of pushing back against.
Those are the
direct
coolest
tyranny.
modern cowboys I have ever seen
Yeah.
in my life.
So it's.
They were so
I think it's a different landscape. I hope it never comes to that. Of course, as always, I want peace, but I don't think people are gonna be pushed over as easily for a direct confrontation. Right. The other thing was different. Lockdown, shutdowns. There's the government getting businesses to do their bidding for them. But if you have what they did there, you're talking like National Guard going door to door. That's gonna be not good. You know what I mean? So
that's that sound. Okay, can
All
we
right.
do multiples of 5? So Robert was 20. So would we do I do another turn and you do another turn?
I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that.
Okay. So this is for Robert still, and this is
Okay.
Yeah. And so you can read it for me. Yeah.
Okay. Who in this room is most likely to ditch their friends when they become famous? Ooh.
Huh. Ditch?
Ditch. When they become famous. Uh-oh.
I would,
Too late. I'm
I can answer,
a internet micro celebrity. What now?
but I'm gonna eat.
Oh, you're gonna eat. Okay. That makes sense. That's good. I like that.
I mean, you know my answer.
You're getting close to the heat now. Oh yeah, you got seeds. Is it hot? I do have that root beer if you need. Oh, it's hot, right? It's the long hot pepper. You okay?
I'm okay.
Okay. You asked me the next one.
Sorry. Okay. This is gonna be really bad when you get to the seeds. Girls everywhere. That's the lesson. Don't get the seeds. Oh my god, it's so hot.
Oh yeah, there we go. Finally.
Freaking frick!
that is
Dude,
the hot
did you
one.
know that kid grew up crazy, right? All right. Same with the kid that goes, I like turtles.
You
I'm like,
turtles.
me too, kid. Me too. Turtles are cool. Okay.
Okay.
Truth. It's the question. Who in this room is more negative than positive?
Ooh. I'm gonna answer and bite, but
Answered by, I like it. You're an anarchist. You don't like rules. My lips are gone.
I think I'm more positive.
I 100%.
I think you can be more negative.
Especially once a month.
Yeah, that's true. Automatically.
You
by
try
default,
flushing your whole inside.
girls are automatically more negative. They have periods. That's true.
I would like some organic milk.
Oh, that does. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
So thanks, Robert. We're not even to LS 420 stoner yet.
Yeah.
And he commented earlier. He said, "You mean producer?" Oh, and Imperial Guard. He said, "Fuh grammar." That's funny. Like, I go on Instagram and I post pictures of pho. Oh, are you gonna get me milk?
No, I'm gonna get you root beer.
No. No, dude, that doesn't help. You know, it's hot. Well, I really don't think this will help. Who in the chat hanging out who thinks this is gonna help? This
Look, I mean, it's good stuff.
root beer,
Ancient
mushroom elixir. Anyone? It's okay. My mouth is numb. It's fine.
Okay. Well, either way, your mouth is numb, but we got to pull another card. So I'm going to do you next.
Oh, can you open this?
Sure.
You're gonna do me next.
Okay.
What if I don't consent?
You will consent, and you will. Here we go.
You will.
Wait, this is hilarious. Okay, this is
what
actually really. I think people will like this. Look at that.
Oh.
So who in this room has the cruelest significant other?
Well, you already alluded to it with the previous
I don't
one.
know. That's a good question.
Oh wait, that's
Who's
a question
cruel?
for me.
That's a question for you.
Cruel?
Cruel.
Oh, me. I'm gonna eat.
Okay, you're cruel. Wow. Damn.
Actually, I don't want to eat.
You're very self-deprecating too.
I don't wanna
apparently.
eat.
You don't want to eat too hot. So you told the truth. So you get me. I can bite next and see if I can. That I was getting close to it.
I'm still handling that. That's why I chose the truth. I'm like, in this case, to not say anything will hurt more. So in this case, the pain to tell the truth is less than the pain to eat the jalapeno. So that's how we get there, folks. Okay. So
All right.
I read this. Oh, truth. Who in this room could whoop you in a fight with one hand tied behind their back?
Obviously, I could whip you. I could whip you with both hands tied behind my back.
Okay, let's include everyone on the call. Right.
On the call.
Look through the audience, right? You know anybody?
I don't know everybody's size
Who in
and
this room
strength,
could
so
whoop you in a fight with
I'm
one
pretty sure
hand
everybody's
tied
going to
behind their
agree that
back?
I clearly could take fun in a fight with
I think
both
LS
hands.
420 stoner, right? I think so. I think so. He'd be
Oh
like,
my
dang,
goodness.
no, dang.
He might.
Isn't that right? Ain't that right? Southern boy. Okay, I'm sorry. I have to do that because, you know, I live in the South now. So I can't say you guys. Because when you say you guys, look at Jack. I'm sorry. I'm laughing at your pain. That's horrible. But when you say you guys, apparently it shows that you're from the PN dub, from the West Coast, Pacific Northwest. You know, apparently you don't say you guys down here in the South. You say y'all, which I always knew. You know, I always knew that. But I've said you guys for so long and it's so natural to me. I guess technically y'all is more inclusive. Anyone try to be diverse and inclusive? I'm just here to make Jack laugh. And when he giggles, it means the world to me.
You got a lot of accents there, girl.
What?
You got a lot of accents.
You got a lot of accents there, girl.
Whew.
I see what you're saying, right? It's spicy.
I told you,
still
it's-
can't
it's
feel the
long,
roof of
hot
my
pepper.
mouth.
It's long, hot pepper, no joke.
Makes me want to break out into a country song, you know, and cry about it.
We do have a couple country songs we could.
Dang, dang, no, dang, 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 no, dang, no, dang.
In times
That
like
was the song I was singing.
what you really need is a good Florida man by your side. Amen. Heading down to Florida. Heading down to Florida. Heading down to Florida. That's sunshine on my view.
All right. Well, that
Yeah,
was a
so
nice,
that's what you do in Florida. You got the sunshine in your view, your rear view. And down to Florida, where I know I can live free. AR in my lift truck and nobody's stopping me.
Oh, you know, I haven't even checked
love
the
that
campaign.
song.
Do we need to take shots?
Oh, yeah, we need to check the campaign. Ah,
I probably should check it. Just, I mean, maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I don't know.
rush hour. It's not y'all. It's y'all.
It's y'all.
That was such a good movie. I love the Rush Hour series. That was such a good American movie. You know what I mean?
Nope, still the same.
Mix of cultures. You got Chinese, African Americans, white people, or rather Europeans, to be politically correct.
5'10", kind of large, can knock me down, sit until he cries uncle. I don't know. That'd be
Wow, Ellis Ford.
tough. We'll have to wrestle sometime.
Whoa. I don't know if you want to wrestle, dude.
We could do spaghetti wrestling.
Oh my God.
Spaghetti wrestling. That's how we do in Florida. All right.
Is oil wrestling from the PN dub? Okay, anyway.
Oil wrestling for the PN. So
right.
on that note, we do have a
Oil
part
wrestling?
2 to this discussion. We have a part 2.
Yes. All right.
So we got to wrap up this discussion about what happened because it didn't just end there, right? It didn't just
right. So
end
what
with
was the
gun sale.
aftermath after it was seized?
So the aftermath was
Cool.
that the NRA was pretty much, you know, the only, I guess you could say, gun group around that was like taking this at the
Wow.
time. Which
So is this before FPC was founded?
I think so. I think
and
FPC
GOA
was later.
or-
GOA I think has been around since then. I'm pretty sure. I could look it up real quick. Let me see.
Yeah, I wonder if
G-
GOA.
I think they've been
stay.
around for a long time, but FPC is newer. Let's see. Yeah, GOA.
Wow, 1976
Yeah,
is when it was
76.
founded. That's a
And
long time
then,
ago. But still in the 1900s. Later, like end of 1900s too. So
yeah, I think FPC is newer. Anyway,
I see.
so
Okay, but in this case, it was the NRA.
yeah, NRA
even
was
though
still a big
GOA
dog, and
was
then
around.
NRA,
Uh-huh.
even though obviously wasn't the best, it's it's like this is just a little bit before they like really went downhill. Like the
Mhm.
NRA was already bad in the past from all their compromises, but like they went extra bad, after this situation, and that's how come specifically that's why
Yeah.
Alan Gura took up the Heller McDonald cases because the NRA wouldn't even take those. They wouldn't touch him. So Alan Gura was the one who took Heller McDonald, which, with Scalia led to, fundamental right of the right to keep bear arms at an individual level being fully recognized that the Supreme Court took place. The NRA goofed totally on that. And that's one of the big reasons why people, especially today, don't like the NRA at all. And they've lost, any last bit of credibility they had back then.
I see.
And among other scandals, but, and that's what, of course, led to the rise of FPC and other people who kind of took the charge there. So
right. And they wanted principled legal action.
Yeah. So NRA's a special failure in the Heller McDonald cases gave the necessary predicate for like Firearms Policy Coalition to really rise up. So
cool. Thanks for that history lesson.
Hey,
Jack.
Someone's got to do it. So is FPC just GOA for younger folk? Kinda. I mean, GOA does good stuff too. FPC is just
it's spicy.
I think FPC is just a little bit more consistent in their rhetoric. They're definitely like way more like unabashedly absolutionist when it comes to it. And I think that their cultures, in terms of their principles, is very good. So that's not just because they supported us on our campaign back in the day, which of course,
red flag reality.
Just put out that there too, so you can judge credibility accordingly.
Not a fan for life.
But I followed their work otherwise, and have looked at their case and looked at their language and looked at how they do stuff, and it's the kind of messaging that is like really good. You know what I mean? Like I wish GOA would be that adversarial and aggressive with their messaging.
They have a lot of good people working for them too. Like really serious, liberty-loving, principled people working for them. So I really like FPC as a institution, corporation.
Right.
So would you call it institution?
Yeah, they're. I mean,
that's that's a neutral term, right? Corporation. Okay. All right. Let's read this article on what happened when it came to the guns and their return. So NRA, New Orleans, agree on guns return. It would cap suit over post-Katrina seizures. Okay. So city officials have agreed to return hundreds of firearms that police officers confiscated in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, part of a deal to resolve a lawsuit filed by gun lobbying groups. I have to take a break. Wow, that's spicy. Okay. And I'm just telling you, this mushroom elixir doesn't really help. Okay.
You haven't drank enough.
I don't think so. Okay. The settlement agreement filed Tuesday in federal court calls for the NRA and Second Amendment Foundation to drop their case if the city follows a plan for returning guns to owners who had them seized by police after the August 29, 2005 hurricane. Wow. Both sides are also asking U.S. District Judge Carl Barbier to sign off on the pact and issue a permanent injunction barring the city from seizing lawfully possessed firearms. Barbier, appointed by President Clinton, didn't immediately rule on the agreement, which doesn't involve a monetary award. Police spokesman Bob Young said it has stored 552 guns were confiscated after Katrina through December 31st, 2005. Police have said most of the confiscated firearms had been stolen or found in abandoned homes, but the NRA says police disarmed people who were trying to flee the city. City Attorney Nolan Lambert denied that police unlawfully seized firearms. We were acting at all times in conformity with the law, he said. Oh, there you go. The law. Hey, you should read that book by Frederick Bastiat if you haven't. Okay. The agreement calls for the city to post a notice on its website explaining how gun owners can claim their firearms. More bureaucracy. Great, to get your property. Gun owners must sign an affidavit claiming ownership of a gun but don't need to present written proof, such as a sales receipt or serial number. A background check also is required to certify that someone claiming a gun can legally possess a firearm. The city won't be liable if a dispute arises over the ownership of a returned gun. Authorities can dispose of any guns that go unclaimed after 2 years. This is all we've wanted all along, a practical return program, said NRA lawyer Stephen Halberg, who estimated that the department should have 1,200 guns available for owners to claim. I think it satisfies all our concerns, said Dave Workman, a spokesman for the Bellevue, Washington-based Second Amendment Foundation. The city for way too long has been dragging its feet on this. We're glad it's over and we can move on to other issues. Young said the department will do everything possible to notify people that their guns are available for pickup. In April 2006, police made about 700 firearms available for owners to claim if they could present a bill of sale or an affidavit with the weapon serial number. Hallbrook, however, said few people could present proof of ownership after Katrina, which flooded 80% of the city. Major Ray Nagin and Police Superintendent Warren Riley were defendants in the case, which was scheduled to be tried next month. In their lawsuit, the gun lobbying groups accused the city of violating gun owners' constitutional right to bear arms and leaving them at the mercy of roving gangs, home invaders, and other criminals after Katrina. I agree. In response, the city argued that federal law doesn't apply to the plaintiffs' claims against city officials because the right to keep and bear arms has never been recognized as a fundamental individual right. So they're POSs. All right. So there you go. There you have it. POSs. And, that's what happens. They take your guns and then you may or may not get it back. And then, it may not, they may give it to someone else. And you know what? The question in the end was that really all worth it? What if they just kept their guns?
Yeah, I mean, what's really crazy about it too is that the police took people's guns and some people's stuff. Then they said, "Oh, you have to prove it to get it back by getting things that may have been destroyed because of the hurricane."
The flood. Just
and they
adding
also,
more tax to you.
My understanding is they put a bunch of different guns into different trailers and stuff like that, and storage things that actually led the guns to becoming really rusted and destroyed. So not only they keep them, but they put them in environments where the property was
they didn't even
destroyed.
keep it safe.
No.
Right.
So it was absolutely evil. And they would try to say oh, there's no fundamental right. And then of course you had Heller and the McDonald come after that. Which obviously if those had been around, if those cases had been around at the time, the city would have been extra, screwed. But this was how come those two cases were so essential, because they really needed to have that direct Supreme Court case in the way. And that's how come now, thanks to Heller McDonald, all these different gun control restrictions, especially New York, have been struck down, and the bump stocks, restrictions have been struck down, all this other stuff because of those two cases. So Alan Gura, if you see this, you're awesome. I haven't seen him in 12 years, but.
So that went all the way up to the Supreme Court. I may have missed that.
No, not this case. No,
okay.
no, not with this.
Not the Katrina case.
The Katrina case just sucked because basically the NRA sucked. And they couldn't get.
It seemed to be a local case to the city, right?
Yeah. So they were, obviously federal rights issue, but it's.
And the city was like, "Well, don't sue us. We'll give it back."
Yeah, they were just basically.
So they were able to not
care at that
get
point because
sued.
they were destroyed most of the people's guns,
which is insane. So they were able to avoid getting sued. The government in this case.
Yeah,
they're okay,
sued,
you're gonna try to sue us? Okay, well. Just don't go through with it. We'll turn everyone guns.
Right. They just didn't want to continue litigation. So they tried to make a deal. But because it was just they kept pushing it back. So they got everybody's guns out of their hands. And the ones they did have basically got destroyed by weathering.
Yeah.
And then, So, so there's that thing that sucks.
No recourse.
No meaningful recourse. Right.
Justice.
No punishment, no financial compensation, nothing. Just you lose your guns. We're going to point guns at you after you just literally got hit by a hurricane. And even if you were fine.
That's the roving gang. That's the roving gang. They claim to be protecting you.
They are
the roving gang with assault rifles, M16s, fully automatic machine guns pointed in your face.
I think that case, that issue with Katrina, I love showing it to people who are not fully libertarian and ANCAP yet, who get the Second Amendment at least in the absolutist sense, and be like, look at this and tell me that the government is not the literal mafia and warlords that you're sitting there saying you're worried about if the government's reduced or, things are turned over more to the market. How can you sit there and say, I'm worried about the warlords taking over when the literal warlords of the government who will go to your door and point guns at you and say, I never thought that I'd have to shoot Americans on American soil, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? They are equally an enemy as the Russian government sending soldiers or the Chinese government sending soldiers.
If you can understand that, you would then understand why they would want to have things like gun control laws, red flag laws. You would understand why only the government wants to be able to have things like machine guns, or frankly, any kind of gun or weapon that makes it easy, to whatever defend yourself. They want to be the ones that have a monopoly on that violence, no matter what. And they just want people to be easily controlled like cattle, that they can just group around, put them in whatever pods or zones and move them around and make sure to extract the wealth that they need, from those tax cattle, if you will. That's a great case study to show anybody who just doesn't get the nature of government yet. you know, who's still in the illusion that the government is somehow like not a mafia.
Right.
Is somehow here of your own voluntary choosing when it literally exists against your will. You know, like you literally have no choice. So yeah, well,
it's nuts. So
thanks for that pepper run. That was really fun.
Well,
yes, freeze.
Good, because
all right, now we're gonna yes, freeze. Time for some phony memes.
We got some memes come up. Before we go to that, we should, for anybody that's just joined, we should remind everybody here that a part of this
event
is a couple things. We have part of what we're streaming right now is in support of our the Great Reset music video. Yeah. And so that's what we're saying up here on the top banner here, right above, where it says if we have 25 plus in the campaign, we'll take a shot. So we're getting to the late
no
part
shots
of the night.
Yet.
Right, we've only done peppers.
We've done truth and peppers,
but
though.
If y'all are getting
anyone
rowdy tonight, we will get rowdy with you.
Saturday night.
On Saturday night. So 25 or more on the campaign. So that's basically, if you look down here, if you support at, I think the Great Reset sticker level or higher.
Yeah, there's all different kinds of perks 25. As well. So
if
you look at the different perk packages, hopefully you'll find something that you like.
Exactly. So we've done pretty good so far. I'm actually, because this is a longer campaign, we were taking longer because we just knew that, it'd take more time to fund. But we have, executive producer credits, signed t-shirts.
Oh, the end one is still up for grabs. Okay.
Oh, definitely.
We got some roll credits.
Roll credits,
nice.
Physical credit. Roll credit without physical credit, art print, coasters. Cool. We actually have, quite across the board, all different people supporting, I think, with the exception of just the big executive advertisements. So
yeah, at the end.
We're trying to make this happen. So again, if you do that, we will drink a shot with you in celebration on the campaign. I'm going to link that down below really quick as we jump into the next section. So I'm going to put that down here. And we're about to...
should we mention the events coming up, or is that later?
You can mention that really quick too, yeah.
Okay. So next weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, that's March 24th, 25th, and 26th.
Yeah, the 24th is this upcoming Friday.
Okay, awesome. Thanks. Yeah, so starting there, that's when we will be having an event. We'll be at the Libertarian Party of Washington State Convention. It's, with any of their conventions, it's a business meeting, but in addition, they have other events laden within it. So check out the different events. You can purchase separate tickets, and there's different packages. The one for us where we are leading the whole event is we're going to have a fun mixer and karaoke night, and that's Friday night. So I'm really, really excited for that. And I know there's some cool people already coming up. Either in Washington or around Washington. You have Oregonians, you have Utahns, whatever, Californians, Idahos. Oh yeah. So I'm really excited. If you want to check that out, you'll have that mixer. It starts at 7 p.m. Pacific. So we'll be in the PN So yeah, hope to see you there. It'll be really, really fun. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And that Friday night is going to be a big, because you could say, hangout fun party thing.
Yeah, you'll meet lots of libertarians
right,
there.
So it's going to be like a mixer. I think we're going to play some games, and then it's going to lead into a karaoke. So we'll do a performance, and then we'll also kick off karaoke and lead people in karaoke and have some fun with that. Yes. So even if you don't
aren't we doing a competition too where we get to choose? I'm gonna
top secret stuff. If you're watching this, don't share what she said. It's top secret. But
I'm gonna get out of here.
There's gonna be so karaoke, lots of fun, and there's going to be just basically a whole night of different activities and fun things. So even if you don't want to sing, you're not to karaoke, but you just enjoy doing that and hanging out, it'll be great. So whatever you want to do, whether you just want to chill, talk, dance, play games, whatever, we're going to have a lot of fun at the LPWA 2023 convention. So we're going to be, doing that big on that Friday. That's our big fun palooza. We'll be doing other stuff throughout the weekend.
Otherwise, we'll see you around Saturday and Sunday.
Leading like a roundtable discussion, I think, with University of Washington students and professor and a couple other things. But the big fun Friday night. real entertaining part. That's then. So
right, just to set off the weekend.
just to
you
kick
know,
off.
that's how you kick off business meetings. You gotta have a little mixer.
Gotta have some fun.
Gotta have some fun first. All right.
All right.
Cool. Let's go through some memes, shall we? Some funny memes. Funny memes.
Funny memes.
That's right. You just say it. You pronounce it the same way. Okay, because that's how you say pho. All right, everyone. Okay, so me. All right, time to sleep for work. YouTube, 13 things you didn't know SpongeBob SquarePants could do. Me. Well, then let's find out. That's funny.
That's true. They can keep you up all night.
I repurposed that one. Okay, so how to avoid paying taxes.
I think it's owing taxes.
Oh, oops, owing taxes.
Taxes?
Taxes.
You tongue-tied there?
Yeah. All right, declaration of memes. That's a good one. That's a good one. You know, you don't owe taxes if the ding dong dang's gone. All right. Okay, so we have here 3 guys and an AC, and they're taking it off, but it's actually the regional banks, big banks, and the Fed. Okay, I get it. Yep, that's what they do.
There's some crazy stuff going on lately.
Taking your AC. And I take that too literally. Okay, pondering why I pay road tax on gasoline for my lawnmower. Right? Kermit the Frog? Sorry. I do think.
Do you get it?
Yeah, because like a lawnmower doesn't go on the road.
There you go.
Yeah, I get it. The format's funny. It's like Kermit the Frog. Okay. The investor you want to be, Nancy Pelosi. The investor you actually are. Dang it, I don't know who this is. Who's
Kramer.
This? Kramer.
He's the guy from CNBC or something. He basically there's this whole joke that Kramer, he's such a bad investment advice person that he's practically just disinformation. So if you do the opposite of whatever he says, you'll like make a lot of money.
Oh, whereas
he's so bad.
Right. Whereas like I mean, Nancy got the inside scoop,
that
so
Nancy
you
portfolio.
should.
That's what I want. That Nancy portfolio.
I mean, you're probably helping to fund the New World Order, but
give me that.
You're trying to cash out.
Give me the Pelosi. I want the Pelosi portfolio. Yeah.
Gosh, these people that were sort of fun. Okay, politicians. Taxpayers. I said we bailing out rich people. I mean, sure, you could say it that way, okay? But there's like some rich people that
it's all rich people. I mean, this is not an inaccurate
yes,
name with
all
SVT.
rich
It's
people,
literally
yes,
a giant
okay.
like yuppie bank. Yeah.
True. So Silicon Valley. That's true.
Right.
That's true.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, you are here. So 1, we had silver. Okay, 2. What is that? Oh, can you zoom in? Does it say? Is that the what? Number 2? Is that the ones like you can exchange this? Number 3. Okay. And
yeah, that's a silver certificate.
Right. That one's actually like the certificate.
You can redeem
like,
a silver.
You can redeem this for silver.
Then you got a Morgan dollar at top.
But then number 3 is where you can't redeem it for silver. Right.
You can redeem that for toilet paper.
Yeah. Number 4, $100 trillion, just like the Bank of Zimbabwe. Wait, is that the federal chair?
Yeah.
What's his name?
No.
Bernanke looks different.
What his name is, just off.
Something Powell.
Yeah. Current.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Jerome Powell.
Right, yeah.
Right. Number 5, 556. Or whatever. Is that a 556? You think that's 556?
It does have a nice.
I mean, because it's like fat, and then it like
fat.
gets skinny. But it could be something else. It's hard to know.
Yeah, I mean, it looks a little bit different.
It's got that orange tip.
Right. Someone hit me up. What is that caliber? It's kind of weird. It's like the way it's fat. I just want to go get a 223 to compare it.
I want to go shooting again. That's what I want to do. All right, that was a good meme. I liked it a lot. But it kind of freaks me out. Okay, this is what it would look like if government was actually transparent. Rothschild, act blue. Goldman Sachs, AT&T, Morgan Chase, Monsanto, Coke, BP, Raytheon. Basically everyone who funds Congress. I got it.
All the lobbyists. Yeah.
Right, all the lobbyists. They said I'd look hotter if I took pictures with a filter. Dad jokes. We got dad jokes here, folks.
Truck jokes.
We got dad jokes. Friends. Dude, how many guns do you have? Me. You mean on me now? Keanu. Base Keanu. He's so cool. He doesn't touch women when he poses next to them. He's like, no. Keanu. Okay. Mama didn't raise no 2-trip loser. Dr. Campbell Cares declaration of means. Oh, okay. Sorry, I got distracted by the tag. What's he doing?
You don't need to read the
torches
tags.
And plastic bags. Oh, I get it. Got it. That's
Maybe
you.
you don't get
You're
it because you never take it in the grocery bags like that.
No, I did. That's you.
You took them all in one trip?
That's you.
That is me. I'm the one who's taking them in.
That's you. I mean, I could only carry like 3 bags each hand. That's the most I could do.
That's the most you could do.
For at a time. Okay, Cat being poor. Ooh. Cat being poor while the banks are collapsing. Eh.
This cat's face, man.
It's
that,
so
that
cute.
does it for me.
It's a cute cat.
Banks are collapsing. You got any fiat dollars?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. They'll spend trillions on bills they haven't read, but want details on how you spend $600. If only Lisa was that cool. She's actually a little socialist.
Yeah.
A little socialist. All right. The cops won't enforce gun control. They swore an oath to the Constitution.
We saw the disproof of that in our last video.
Yeah, that's the topic we just
literally
covered.
the topic. Yeah.
In our last video?
Well,
You mean the last section?
The last video we just watched. We watched the
right.
The ABC covered wherever.
Right. Oh, there's the camera.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, haha. That's funny with the SpongeBob like and then the thin blue line.
Right.
While they're taking guns. Yeah, so basically I'm just saying, if you're like thin blue line person, like who do you think is gonna come take your guns? If you're also a don't turn on me Second Amendment person, think about it. You're better off just being an ANCAP.
Guns.
Join the rest of us. Be an ANCAP. Come on. Come on. The market provides. It's okay. Let's trade. Okay. Behold, the one commandment. Don't ask the government to fix problems they cause. Okay, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Is that like Adventure Time or like The Simpsons or something? Because that looks like The Simpsons. Like, yeah, it looks like The Simpsons.
Yeah,
See the mouth?
It's Moses Simpsons. How about that? Hold on, let's take a quick moment. Someone may have contributed. It says 23. Wait a minute. I don't know. I saw someone say that they had to change your
Oh, hey, Megan. What's up, Megan? Megan's in the house.
Hey, what's up?
Okay, I'm sorry. I just want to say happy birthday. You're awesome. So cool you're here. Wow. Cool. All right. Say hi to your fam. Hope you're chilling. Be fun to hang. Okay, so Ellis 420 Stoner over here wants us to do truth or dab. I see. Should we do phony memes? Okay.
We'll do one more phony meme. We'll come back to phony meme.
We'll do one more phony memes. Okay. When the state asks you to pledge allegiance before you learn how to read, you're in a cult. That's funny. It's funny. These are serious memes.
Let's see.
You know, like I get it. They're phony. They're funny.
They phony.
But they're serious. Okay. He just had a thought, which he spelled like THOT. Like, is that intentional, dude? Okay. How cool would it be if CN Arsenal, Brandon Herrera, Flannel Dad, admin results? I only know Brandon Herrera, and that's just because I saw him at Yal Rev events like several times now.
Well, I don't
and
forget,
Pho had
Iraq
arranged
Veteran
day
88.
together. Yeah, where's Iraq Veteran 88? That guy's so cool. Dude, Eric, he's awesome.
He can come along.
How about Iraq Veteran 88? Brandon Herrera,
Yeah.
FPC people, Coleon Noir. Yeah, that'd be
I
a
like that
fun
idea.
time. That'd be a fun
Maybe we
time.
should make that happen.
And of course, Shaq. We should do the range event that we were gonna do in 2020, right? We were gonna go, was it Vegas? We were gonna like go shooting out of a helicopter and
Yes, we
machine
were
guns.
originally going to do that, and then they couldn't do it. So
To shut down the lockdowns and the mask orders. And then that's where all the music videos came, you know. That's why we got to break the Great Reset. So if anyone wants to support us on that music video, we're going to be running around chasing Klaus Schwab through the city. Hopefully, we'll see how far we go in the funding. Hopefully we can get to go. But yeah, if you want to help 25 or more in the campaign,
right.
we'll take a shot in celebration.
So now, because of LS420 Stotter's
But yeah, because
support,
of him.
we're going to
Truth
do
or
this one
jalapeno.
up. Share one thing each. Oh, sorry. I'm so tired. Share one thing about each person in the room that makes you jealous.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Okay. That's a group question.
Truth or dab. Okay.
That's a group question.
Okay. That's
All right.
a cool one.
So you got to go first. You're still going to bite the spicy.
Oh man. Do I bite the spicy or talk about what? Yeah.
You're going to bite the spicy no matter what. That's just a given. You're spicy. The spicy's on.
Yes, the spicy. Wait, I have to do it?
Yes. And you also have to say it. That's correct.
What?
Yeah.
That's torture.
Torture is my game.
You're worse than the state. I'm going back to paying taxes.
Oh gosh. All right. So what is the one thing you're jealous of?
What?
I'm jealous of your cuticles.
My cuticles?
Yeah, you know, like she just
I need
like
some work right now.
I don't know. My fingernails, they always get, roughed up. She just keeps them so nice and smooth and neat. And it's just I can't.
Oh,
compete.
but you do always do the dishes.
I mean, it comes with the territory.
And you don't wear gloves. Whereas when I do the dishes, I put on gloves.
Maybe it would help if I wore gloves, but I'm not like that because I'm not.
Because you're a dude. It's fine. I like your strong, rough hands.
Good. So, well, actually, yeah. If you see right here, see those are rough fingers.
Yeah.
Rough.
Doing yard work.
Yeah, that's true. I do yard work too. People don't believe it, but I do. I'm responsible for all.
I
pest control
forget,
and yard work.
I'm like, oh, why is everything so clean? Why are the leaves blown?
That's the thing is like everything gets clean around here, and you're just like, oh, it just magically happens. It's like people in the market. They're like, oh yeah, just food. It just comes out of nowhere. There's no orchestration among a bunch of people doing different things and voluntarily cooperating.
Someone
across the world.
specialized in beef.
It just comes out of the ground.
Specialized in chicken.
Free
or cows.
It just happens.
I mean, I already said cows.
Yeah.
Sheep. Okay, I have to do this. Something that you do that makes me jealous. Okay, I would say when we go to the studio, I am jealous that our sound engineer PTSG. I should clip this and send this to him. Okay, when our sound engineer PTSG, that's right, Pat the Sound God, when you get in the booth after I've been in the booth. Like, and I'm like trying, I'm like in the booth. I'm like, I want to be a Florida man. Like I'm trying so hard. Or I'm like, break the Great Reset, whatever. And then you go in there and the sound engineer is so impressed whenever you just do whatever. You do, you scream or you sing or you try rapping a little. He's like, oh shit, you should go in there.
He's
like,
right.
That's what I would say. I do feel a little jealous.
I'll take it. That's fair enough.
And I have to eat it.
Oh gosh.
This is horrible.
That's why I got it.
I'm going to pay 80% taxes. It's better than this. I'm just kidding. I'd rather do this. At least it's over. At least you can have milk.
Whew. Yeah, long peppers are hot. I had spicy. Well, she can't talk. Just a quick reminder. We haven't even had shots yet. So just remember, if you're Yeah, if you're ready to break the glasses. Right now, we're at 23 backers, 1664, 16%.
It's so hot.
Which is actually pretty good considering the economic climate. So we are extra grateful to those who, despite the storms, have supported us through thick and thin.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy right now.
So we understand it is tougher, but we do appreciate it.
Yeah, and really hope you like Anti-State. We're going to bring out the same videographer and producer.
If he lets us, yeah.
If he's willing to come out. That's true. I can't do it.
Vinny, if you're watching this, just know we want you and we love you.
Vinny, I have a friend. His name's Vinny from New York. I mean, that's so cool. Hey, Ma, I made it. I got a friend named Vinny from New York. Sorry. It's so hot.
It is. My stomach hurts, honestly. It's so hot.
Okay. Thanks, Ellis, for 20 soda. I don't know what to do. I gotta get milk.
You got milk?
Yeah, you want some?
No. I want to feel the pain.
You are not alone.
I'm not alone. I'm alone right now in this. So yeah. So it's hot. I mean, we haven't even gotten into the other peppers because I don't know how much hotter this is. You know, it's the traditional regular green pepper, and then this is the habanero. Looks nice and shiny, but this one was specifically the hot one. That's specifically said long hot green pepper. So I figured we'd go deep. On other fun notes, while she's getting her milk, the Ron Paul Forever Free event went very well. That was a lot of fun. That we just had this past weekend. I got to speak, so that was cool.
Thank you for milk.
Got to see Ron Paul's old bodyguard.
I want to thank Organic Valley. Brought to you this milk. I'm not an affiliate.
Yeah, but I would be. I will affiliate your milk.
I would. Hit me up, Organic Valley.
Yeah.
Get that good organic milk.
You with a milk mustache? Like you're just like,
got milk?
Got milk.
Right? Oh, it's so hot. All right, what accent should I do?
It's hot, man. That is hot. But yeah,
now I'm just contemplating the nature of existence as the capsaicin rolls through my veins. It's capsaicin, right?
I always forget how to pronounce it.
Capsaicin or capsaicin?
Is it capsation? Or capsation? Hold on. Capsation? Because capsation.
Capsaicin.
Capsation. Yeah, capsaicin. There we go. Capsaicin. Right. So capsaicin. There we go. Tongue tied twice.
Honestly, I don't think
it's still burning.
I can't really do this.
You don't have to do. You can switch.
I already had half a milk and it's still burning.
You had a lot. You've done well. I approve of your efforts.
True. That's great. Thank you.
Okay, Cappy's done.
Capsy. Okay, Dylan.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Katrina, man.
Katrina, yeah.
Door-to-door confiscations.
I don't think there's been anything like in terms of confiscation. Correct me if I'm wrong. Hit me up, somebody. Since that time, like in terms of what happened at Katrina, I'm not aware of anything since that time that happened that was in similar scale. Obviously, there's red flag laws and individual cases. There's been police going door to door. Like I think of what's his face who did the Boston Marathon bombing. That's its own, deep rabbit hole, where police were going door to door in Boston. But I don't think there's been anything of that scale of door to door confiscation with like National Guard since that incident.
Really? In America?
I don't know. Someone could correct me if I'm wrong. I would love to be corrected if there's something juicy. I'm just not aware of it. And I think because there was suits over it, and of course, when you had Heller McDonald came through, it was like, now you're extra really risking a city's pockets there.
That's good.
So, yeah, but the government, it's just crazy. They keep trying to do every single thing they can to pass assault weapons bans and all sort of stuff,
and tax you more.
Public's just
like whether it's like
want it.
looking at $600 deposits, looking,
Yeah, and they put that on pause, thankfully.
Hiring more IRS agents, try and take your guns, go to war in Ukraine. Man. I mean, literally the endless wars are here. The endless wars against your rights is here.
Yeah, I mean, every single freaking distraction.
I don't like going on corporate airplanes. Private airplanes are great. It's like, oh yeah, this is nice. Like no one's literally molesting you or having you go through a scanner that's questionably sending whatever amounts of radiation through your body. Like I really don't like going through public airports anymore because you have to just take off your shoes, walk on the gross ground where everyone's other shoes have been walking from all around the world, especially going into an international airport around here in Florida.
Yeah, I'm not. That's the one thing I like that makes me always like
either get molested or get radiated.
Right.
Literally, that's your choice. It's insane. Like last time I went flying, when we went to New York for the Anti-State music video, I chose to get molested as opposed to going through the radiator. And I just saw like how slow of a process it is. And
they try to make it as uncomfortable for you as possible. They're like, we're gonna touch every part of you.
Yeah. And they're like, do you consent? And then while she's doing it, like they're literally touching your privates.
Right.
They're like, okay, making contact.
Right.
They do. And they say that I actually, part of me just wanted to know the procedure. And now I know. I viscerally know. Like they're literally lining you up. And at different turns, it's all to like control you. And with all the COVID stuff too, now you have people who, not only do you get radiated or molested going to the airports when you travel, but you're also like going to your doctor and they're like recommending all these different questionable shots, like for the COVID vaccines. So many different people got it thinking that, oh, this will keep me safe, forgetting that, oh, actually maybe I'll be able to survive myself, like if I just got the virus myself, especially if you're more young anyway. So yeah, it's pretty crazy when you look at it, to see the gravity of everything that's going on and really how carded and controlled people are, just like animals, just like animals on a farm or cattle on a farm, just being carded and moved along in a certain factory line.
Yeah, I like how you said they ask, oh, do we have your consent? Where it's like, okay, so what if I say no, you don't have a consent, you're gonna let me go through? Like it's so stupid.
Right.
It's like,
can I just not get radiated?
Right. Can we just not?
I already put all my stuff on the belt for you.
Right.
Like, can you tell yet that I'm not a threat? You know what I mean? Like, is there can we go back to metal detectors? Like that was simple. I do remember that going to the airports. Yeah, when all there was metal detectors. Just like when you go on a cruise. I'm glad that there are still cruises. And like with the cruise ships, this doesn't happen.
Right.
Like if you go on a cruise ship, you don't actually have the TSA. It's like the private security and the scanning. You have metal detectors and stuff. And like, okay, they'll look through, but they're looking for actual weapons. Like there's no need to actually go through a radiator because, radiation, or have them actually touch your genitals.
Right.
Like the metal detection was enough.
Yeah. The whole thing is to
look for a gun, to look for knives.
No privacy. Right. And to having no sense of autonomy, and to make it so that everyone's as inconvenienced as possible so that they can then sell you back your rights as a privilege, like they did with the, the TSA, pre-check, like, give us your biometric data and we can use it in all our databases. And then you could maybe skip.
Right. I was going to say it's maybe not even guaranteed.
Right. They might,
if you get your TSA pre-check, they'll still may like randomly flag you to be searched and molested.
Because my mom, she had pre-check, and they still pulled her across, and she's like chewing them out. She's like, do we really have to do this? Like, I paid for this for the purpose of not doing this. And they're like, oh, okay, fine. They like kind of like, kind of let it through softly. But it was just, it was really nuts to just see that it's like the whole thing is a ruse to make you think that, oh yeah, you're getting closer to freedom. And then they intentionally be like, okay, now you sold us your rights again. Okay, well, we're going to take even more. You know what I mean? So that's why it just needs to be abolished. TSA needs to be completely abolished.
100%. I agree.
All right, let's take a look at
some more funny memes.
Phony memes.
Funny memes.
Yeah.
All right. Peasant, I cannot pay. These taxes are unfair. Lord, you talk a lot of shit for someone with such a flammable house. Dang, that's hilarious. Like, horribly. But there you go. Nature of government.
Right.
We'll take your house if you don't pay the taxes. That's why we got to abolish taxation and end the Federal Reserve. Who's with me? Yeah. We would like literally have more stuff provided for us in the market.
One second, I jump in real quick. So LS420 says they allegedly caught the underwear bomber. So that underwear guy was literally a federal patsy, by the way. Like the whole his underwear thing was actually inert, and he was actually put in by the government. They had someone filming him and stuff. I actually did, because my doctoral thesis was on the TSA, and there's one of the issues that I was looking at, and it was literally a patsy guy who was set up by the government. So yeah, another one of those, the feds foil their own plot.
So Dylan's right. They've caught zero Terrys.
Yeah.
Right. We have to be like subliminal about Terrys. You know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next funny meme. Funny meme. Okay. U.S. banks in good times. Captain America. My profits. U.S. banks in bad times. Our losses. That's so funny.
So true. That's what it is.
That's true. Is it U.S. banks or
social.
central banks? No?
I mean, central. There are in the U.S., so it's U.S. banks, but it's true because the government's bailing them out too.
We're talking about U.S. banks. So
they privatize profits, socialize.
Otherwise,
losses.
they turn commie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Socialize losses.
Yeah.
Spirit Halloween.
And moving quick.
Take it over Silicon Valley Bank. That's funny. That is funny. All right. Remember to eat a healthy breakfast so you can run from the cops. Until we meet again. That's funny. That's funny. Did I say it like that, or do I sound like an idiot? All right. 4 signs you are bad with money. You can't balance a budget. You have to take money from other people to pay your bills. You're the government. You lend money before paying your own bills. Your debt is over $30 trillion. Literally, that's the government. Wow, that's a great meme. That's funny.
It's too real.
It's too real. Okay. How much do I owe you? Me. How much do you think you owe the IRS? Get it? That's actually really funny. Like, I'm over here. Like, I remember when someone pointed this out to me, and I thought to myself, oh, I was over here thinking, why are they extorting us? This is ridiculous. We should abolish taxation. And then someone else was like, it is logically funny that they're like, hey, you owe us money, but they can't tell you how much you owe. Like, they won't just tell you, like they won't just send you a bill. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, they wouldn't know anyway. So obviously you would have to tell them in the first place.
Sure.
There's no way they would know everything you do. But that's the whole thing, is the whole sham is that they want you to do all their work for them and also to punish you for it. So that's the evil part of it, is, what I mean? Is that they're basically making this crazy scheme that makes it very difficult to comply with. So you're automatically, in trouble.
And the whole thing's a scheme to just track everything you're doing, right? Specifically income taxation. Like, unlike property taxation, sales taxes of certain things, income taxation is literally everything. So they can, any new sort of revenue generating potential they want to tax. So like with crypto, you saw that they were like, oh, okay, now we're going to tax cryptos. The Biden administration is now talking about ways to tax crypto earnings. Like, to me, like, income taxation is one of the most insidious forms of taxation. Like, I want to abolish all taxation, but in terms of like priorities, I would start with income taxes. That's the most insidious one. It just literally tracks everything you're doing, keeps you controlled by the state, you know, and it follows you everywhere you go. Like, even if you leave the country and you don't even live in the US anymore, the federal income tax follows you.
Right.
So it's you really are a slave.
Definitely.
I'm just saying.
And real quick, LS420 said, mind blow, didn't know the guy was glowy. Yeah, actually, there's this guy, his name's Kurt Haskell, Kurt, and then last name Haskell. I think I'm just probably this off the top of my head. I think it's the U238 underwear guy. He was an attorney who was on traveling, I think, with his girlfriend or wife, and he caught the whole thing, you know, with basically him being glowy. And he wrote a blog about it and was like saying, hey, I was there. Like, what the heck? There was people filming this guy, and they like escorted him off and stuff. So this totally normal lawyer who just had a normal practice, like, and was on a vacation at the safari with his wife, I think, like suddenly got pilled on the whole issue because he was just a normal, NPC guy. And then he watched it all happen. Is like, hey, is anybody gonna talk about this? We just watched this guy get filmed and people escort him from the plane sitting there. So he's like, what? So he got woken up and wrote about it. And then he got, like many people who have their first awakening moment, went down the rabbit hole. But he was just a regular attorney, with a regular practice, just living his life. And then,
but so many people don't know that story.
They don't.
So many people would then use that as the justification of like, well, this is why you got to get molested. Right. You might have a bomb in your underwear. That's why they're touching
literally an FBI patsy who was being filmed for a test run and was caught by credible people who were like, wait, what? Why isn't this in the news? He was shocked. He's like, wait, what? They didn't cover that this happened? And then he had to write about it and wrote a blog and then went a bunch of news, channels about it, all, news channels saying like, what the heck? And back in the day, I checked all his facts too. I was like, okay, is this real? Whatever. I looked up his bar number. I looked up his history. I'm like, okay, this is a real guy. Like, he's a real attorney. He, everything checks out.
Yeah.
So I was like, dang, that's crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
So real
TSA, man, stuff, ever since 9/11 hasn't left.
Real stuff. All
right. Another funny meme. When it's career day at your school, but your dad's a cop and refuses to enter the building.
Uvalde, Parkland, which one?
That's really funny. That's
a funny one.
That's fun. No. Okay, me showing my wife a great deal I found on Facebook Marketplace. My wife, no.
I don't really use that, but I bet you a lot of people do.
Yeah, me either. I hate the EPA. Friends of coal. Coal keeps the lights on.
I guess we know that they like coal.
That's a really funny, that's a hilarious license plate with the sign. Friends of coal.
Right.
I hate EPA. That's good. That's
so good.
That's good. Yes, I want to withdraw all the money from my account. Pepe. Oh, I love that meme. Chase, so you can. And then the NPC. I love how everyone lining up to withdraw their money and do a bank run. Oh, I love it. Oh, they just want to draw all their money from their account. I love it. It's so great. All right. When you try to leave work a little early, but your boss reminds you that you have 7 hours left. Oh, gosh. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my God. Okay. Sleeping on grass. Expectation. Reality. That's so true. Oh, that's so true.
So true.
I know. It's somewhere more in the middle. I get it. It's both exaggerations. Okay. Her. I don't know how I can pay my rent. Unbuttons blouse. Him. Oh, I think there's a way. Unzips plants. Everyone else playing Monopoly. That is really funny. Playing Monopoly. I never played Monopoly that way.
I think you get a lot more properties faster.
That's one way to play Monopoly. Okay. Everything reminds me of her. Okay, yeah, I've seen this. That's
All
funny.
I know is that
I really
I'm really
want
hungry
one
for
right now.
Chinese food now.
Don't you want to stick your tongue right in the middle and then like
I kind of
take a
do.
bite?
I can't help it. I just see this. I'm like, I'd eat that fortune cookie.
That's like this, everything reminds me of him.
This could be a meme right
4
there.
inches is average. Did you know 4 inches is average? That was the funniest Facebook page. And you know who took it down? Facebook. Because they didn't want the truth. They didn't want the truth that 4 inches is average. Tired of the censorship. Tired of all these dongoloids and size queens that Facebook taking over and snuffing out the truth that 4 inches is average.
It is in South Korea. At least that's what ChatGPT told me. 4.3 to be specific. And then it shut down because it said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't answer that question," even though it like halfway answered it. So I'm sure that's what a lot of people are asking ChatGPT is how big the average member is.
Maybe.
Like,
well, it has been a spicy night. What
night.
Other segments we got going on today, Jack?
I don't have a specific segment that's scheduled. We covered the main things of
Are you recovered from your spicy long pepper?
I'm unfortunately no longer spicy. That's good.
Oh, that's cool. That's good. I learned a lot today, Hurricane Katrina, what's going on there. More, I got a refresher and my blood boiled once again. And then I had to remind myself of all the things I'm working towards, and go through that whole process of processing.
Right. I tried to see if I can get into ChatGPT right now, but I can't without signing in. I was like, because I think that'd be fun if we like do a question session with ChatGPT. I would love it.
Whoa!
Oh,
hey, Megan! Oh, you want to do truth or okay? We're gonna do a shot for Megan because it was her birthday, and what is Jim Bob's birthday tomorrow? And you're making Vietnamese crepes. You know what they're called in Vietnamese? Guess what? You might know, Megan. Bun sale. Bun sale.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's called bun sale. Any Viets in the chat? Or Megan, you could correct me. Have I had them? Oh yeah, I've had them. My mom makes them with like bean sprouts and basil and shrimp, and then you dip it in her homemade fish sauce, and everything will remind you of her again. Because fish sauce, and it's delicious. And so
You've never
yummy.
fed me Vietnamese crepes.
No, we should have that together. And then you wrap it in lettuce. Well, because it's like goikung, but you don't have like the rice paper, so you just put it. You like have this like egg and like flour concoction and
that
stuff.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we should get it sometime. It's messy. It's messy.
Yeah,
it's
I didn't
messy.
even know.
Wow. Okay. And what's my favorite pho? I like a good pho thai sak. But I always get corrected in my pronunciation. It's probably like more like pho thai sak pho thai sak. But then I'm like, it's pho thai sak. Yeah, like they're like, oh, you Chinese? You got a Chinese accent. You Chinese Viet? And I'm like, how you know? How you know? Yes, I am. And they know. They're like, you got that Cantonese accent. That's right, I do. Where's my dilos at? Moi moi. Okay, I'm sorry. I can do this all day. Okay, well, Megan, we're gonna take bun sale. Yes, yes. Megan gets it. Also, happy late Chinese New Year to you. Chuk Mung Nams Moi. Wow, I'm butchering it because I would usually just say Gong Hei Fa Choi, which is Cantonese.
Gong Hei Fat Joy. Yeah.
Gong Hei Fa Choi. Gong Hei Fa. Yeah, so good times, over here, Chinese New Year growing up. And we're going to do 2 shots. And we'll play Truth or Not. But that's so cool. You guys are getting, good food all the time, you and Jim Bob. If you guys don't know, Megan's really awesome, and her husband Jim, he has a channel called Made by Jim Bob. And if you're like me and you like philosophical discussions, you should check out his stuff. He has good debates and live streams there, and he's also really good at making funny memes. So you should check that out. Check him out. I follow him on Instagram, on the gram, where I follow Megan as well. Check her out and her pictures of her kids. You guys got some cute kids over there, Megan and Jim. That's good. You're feeding them bun sales.
Well, they're getting good food.
Such good parents. Yeah, you're feeding them really good food.
All right. So
all right. Cheers to you. Wait, where?
Right here.
Oh, that's for me. Oh, thanks.
My pleasure.
All right. Cheers to Megan and Jim, to your birthdays. Another year wiser. I say that every year. It's true, hopefully.
That's good. It makes it go down smooth.
Thank you so much. Cheers to you both. Maybe we'll meet someday in person. All right. Pho. Yeah, get some pho. Or dim sum. Whatever. Or we could get some good old American burgers because we're American. All right, we're going to play this game.
Oh, yeah, we got to play a game.
Okay, so I'm going to do you.
Okay.
Here, left side. Here, okay. Oh. We've done these.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Okay, we've done all these. I'm gonna put.
I really need to do better at organizing that.
Yeah, that's no worries. Okay, truth. Who in this room is straight up smarter than you in every imaginable way? Who is this? Who wrote this card? Narcissist? No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, you got to figure out something. All right, so that's a tough one because that's a question that we often discuss.
Who's smarter? What is intelligence? Oh, you cracking up? I made you laugh? Wow. Ah. That makes me so happy. Cheers. We're cracking up over here. Oh, wow. That's so great. Okay, you know who I want to do an impression of me? Your husband. Jim Bob, he's really good at doing impressions.
He is good. His Jordan Peterson impression.
I'm like, that's someone I want to make fun of me. Sure, it will probably hurt and be like, wow, that's too on point. But hey, it's probably hilarious. So anyway, Jim Bob, you just feel free to make fun of me. Okay. Oh yeah, so you're gonna answer smartness, intelligence. So what was that card again that I put away?
Just
who is smarter than you in every imaginable way?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Is it me or is it yourself?
You have to. I mean, there's only 2 people in this room, so I mean, as far as I know.
Oh, I was asking you, but
it's it's my question.
Yeah.
All right.
I was
good point.
Yeah.
All right, so this is a tough one, y'all. So, okay, why it's so tough is because Pho is extremely intelligent in many ways. She's extremely intelligent at deductive linear thinking. That's why she's an excellent programmer.
I'm just kidding.
She went up a higher level in mathematics than me in college before dropping out.
What you know about Calc 4? What you know?
Well,
what you know about derivatives?
Well, I know about derivatives, yeah.
God, that was so abstract. I was
it's funny because
what does it mean when you take stuff to the limit? Can you just explain to me like I'm 12? I remember the teacher like trying to tell me.
Instantaneous
I don't get it.
Rate of change. It's when you bring 2 points, you ask yourself what's a tangent line to. Anyway, so the so she went to a higher level of math. Which again, doing academics is not necessarily intelligent, but it shows that she has this tenacity and this drive.
Yeah.
She's way better at drawing than I am. So she can actually do like some manga style drawings that are pretty good. I can do some cartoony stuff, but
yeah, I would draw some romance mangas back in the day.
Yeah. She did. She
fun.
showed me her romance mangas. It was pretty good. It's so,
and now it's just real, so I don't draw anymore. I just live it.
I used to think I was smarter.
My manga dreams are real.
Yeah, that's true. Your manga dreams are reality now. And now I feel stupid. As the older I get, the dumber I feel. And the reason why is that
so much knowledge.
Right. When you get to a certain point of knowledge about the world, and you could really get a sense of like how much your accomplishment and knowledge is, and then you like see the best and brightest in the world. And you're like, I don't measure up there, huh? Do I? So
look, I'm like an old Chinese philosopher right now.
Yeah.
Thinking, I'm like,
yeah.
just kidding.
I don't think that the question can be truly satisfied for this idea of like one of us completely like, outmatches the other.
I agree.
I'm really good at big picture thinking. I'm pretty good at deductive reasoning. Obviously, got me through law school.
Yes.
And teaching math, but
you're good at arguments and debate. So
Yeah.
that's good deductive reasoning, right?
we balance each other very well. No, it's I don't know how to say it. It's like
all right, just shut up and eat the peppers.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I cannot truthfully say, it would not be true to say that either one of us completely outclasses the other. We just have better strength. I have a little bit more verbal intelligence, you could say.
This is for you, Megan.
Is more literal, logical, like in a deductive way. Like she's really good spatial too. Yeah, she's definitely, she's got that, I mean, she's Asian. Come on. So yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough.
That's like saying, oh, you like, you like being a producer. You're European. No, it's because you're a little Jewish, right? Or
a lot of Jewish.
Or like, oh, why do you got the liberty resistance in ye? Because you're a little Irish, right? I just like being specific. Okay, there's all kinds of Europeans. Why are you so loud when you argue? Well, you're Italian. It's not
You're
all
Italian.
Europeans. Come on, like, I'm Chinese. Get it straight, Jack. I'm Chinese and Viet.
And Viet. You're mostly Chinese, but you're also Viet.
That's why we got that spatial IQ on lock. We're like, sure.
The cubes.
All we could do was run away from communism, but we can solve puzzles. I'm just kidding. Collectivism.
Well, that's what I think of. Right. I mean, isn't there some truth to that, though, in a sense? That,
wow, this is hot.
It's very hot. Isn't there some truth to that in a sense, though? I think about this like epigenetically, how like Chinese have had so much persecution for intellectual ideas
many.
That really Chinese IQ had to almost focus in on spatial, because if you were to speak out against the government in many eras,
that's
especially
true.
after
The
Genghis
way
Khan,
you survive is spatial IQ, maps,
right?
Running away. No, it's true. Fighting. Like Vietnamese people, like actually,
right?
Fending off the northern government, Vietnamese government. Yeah, it's really hot.
It's hot.
Oh wow, made by Jim Bob.
Hey, it's made by Jim Bob.
He said the show feels good and makes me happy.
That's good.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
It's currently hurting my mouth.
Aw.
Between the spice and the alcohol.
That's what I think of you and your wife's content. Keep it up.
Yeah. I like Jim Bob's.
We are Americans. We will rise for liberty. On that note, play the song.
Which song?
Break the Great Reset.
Okay. Are we okay?
I died.
This is to all my people fighting back against the lockdowns, the shutdowns, and the censorship. You are not alone. We will rise.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
So I like that. I like to listen to that.
I'm gonna grab a drink.
Oh, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just gonna grab another shot.
Wow,
Cheers.
We're gonna have to do 4 truth or dabs and 4 shots. And I'm just glad that this show feels good and makes you happy. That's so cool. That was like when you were holding your little baby and doing a live stream. That was like, wow, that's cool. ASMR daddyhood. Oh wow, this is another drink.
That is true. If you hold
I'm
a
about
baby
to turn
during
into
live stream,
drunken master over here.
You're already spicy master, but I wonder if there's like a market for that ASMR daddyhood. Is that like a thing?
Oh, that's a thing.
I've seen a lot of like
and mommyhood,
crunchy things, but
you'll be surprised
ASMR
to know.
Mommyhood. I mean, I think that's OnlyFans.
You'll be surprised to know, Jack, how many people just looking for that mommy, looking for that daddy. Hey, have you heard the song on the YouTubes that goes, What was your connection with your dad like? 'Cause if it was bad, you're gonna take it out on me. What was your connection with your dad like? It's a really good song. And ultimately, it's a parody of a real song. I know I've showed you like many times. I know.
I don't think too many other people have heard that. What is the dad like?
Oh, well, your brother sent it to us. Shout out to you, bro. He's cool. You're always finding those funny memes and those funny songs and videos. Cheers to you, bro.
Yeah,
and Jim.
Cheers
and
to Jim Bob for making
and your kids
great
and
memes
your mom
and inspiring
and your
people
dad.
to laugh at the stupidity of the government.
Yeah, like Jim Bob taught me to go instead of OF, you say oh fuck. Like with the E. Like if you're flamboyant about it, it's not fun. It's fuck. Like if you're just really happy.
Well, you're about to be real happy right now with 2 shots and a very long hot pepper.
L'chaim. Shalom. Shabbat shalom. That's right. It's Saturday.
It is the end of the Sabbath, though.
Oh, all right. Well, for some people, it's the beginning of the Sabbath, right? Some people do it on Sunday.
The other day about how you know, if you don't see your wife while she's on her period, is that why you have very high Jewish productivity?
Oh, that's only among the Hasidics because they're the only ones that do that.
We were just saying how it's like
the modern Jews are all messed
getting
up.
So many business deals
No,
done.
I'm
If
just
you
kidding.
don't see your wife during her period, man, you get so much work done. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's true. Would you still love me if I was a lamp?
Yeah. They don't. Hasidics don't have to deal with that. They're just like, all right, honey, you go have some fun. We're gonna go.
That sounds great. Weekend,
lease out another unit.
Whole week getaway with the girls. Oh, that sounds awesome. No housework, no cooking. Right?
I don't know about that part.
Endless massages.
That'd be nice.
Oh, feck. That sounds great. Is that a way to get around the censorship? Exactly. Yeah,
this is an old one.
It's cool, the people you meet online and then one day you'll meet them in person.
Okay.
That was Jack for me. I met him online, and then when I met him in person, I'm like, whoa, you're like online, but you're like 3D. And it's like one of the weirdest experiences to only know someone online and connect with them that way. And then one day you meet them in real life. It's like the weirdest experience. It feels like you're going from a movie to real life. I don't know if you've experienced that, but it's funny.
It is pretty fun.
It's funny. Okay.
All right. So we each have a question for each other. Who wants to go first?
Me.
Okay.
Roast. This is a roast card where you don't answer the question. Instead, you have a choice to take a dab or let all players here roast you by telling us how many people they think you've slept with.
Oh, well, that's easy.
Excuse me.
So what are the options again?
Oh, so you have to take a dab or you have to let me guess or tell you how many people I think you've slept with.
Guess what I'm about to be having.
You don't want me to say.
Your boy's body count
That's right.
staying on the DL.
This wasn't no virgin Jack.
Look, I've had a few exes. It's true. I've had a few.
We all got closets.
I don't have skeletons, but I do have bodies.
Nah, no. Wow, I have heartburn. Is this the second truth for Jim?
I thought it was the first.
The first one, right? Yeah, we didn't even.
And look at this right here. Look at how spicy that hole is. That's a spicy hole.
Oh, you barely got through yours. Wow.
Yeah, for a bite nice and small.
Because I've been eating it. I see.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Oh. That's hot. Oh, woohoo!
You ready to karaoke Alice in Chains?
I would karaoke a lot.
In Washington.
In Washington.
Are you ready to speak perfect English?
Okay.
In Washington? There ain't no accents there, okay? Everyone there speaks perfect English.
All right, Rose,
And
a
we're
story
progressive.
about the worst breakup you went through. So that's for you.
Oh!
What's the worst story about the worst breakup you went through?
No, that's a roast. So I have to either take a dab or let you. What, right?
I
Or
took a
let
dab. No,
you-
your question was for me. My question is for you.
Right.
Which
But it's not a question. It says, or let all players here roast you by telling them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry.
So-
There's a roast card where you don't answer
Yeah.
the question. Interest, take it out, or let all players here roast you by telling a story about the worst breakup you went through. Okay. So what's the worst breakup I went through, or what?
Okay, well, I'd rather eat the. Let's not get into that. You know.
Yeah. You know, I'd go
Let's
into
not
that.
talk about the worst breakup I've ever been through. We don't need to go down that rabbit hole. But let's just say that is how the philosopher became the philosopher. I mean, partially. And 4 inches is average. Okay. So we're going to take a bite of this jalapeno.
Okay. Bro. Wow. That's hot.
Um.
Ooh.
mhm. Okay.
Yeah, that pepper's not as hot. It does get hot toward the base. Oh. No, I'm feeling this one. We do have at least 2 bathrooms. We got 2. We're good.
And if you knew the reality beyond that, you might not laugh. But yes, I think every person, if you live with anyone other than yourself, you have to have
You
2
need
bathrooms.
You need 2 bathrooms.
You have.
Dude, that long pepper's hot. Yo, that's hot. For real.
Like you.
Hey. That is hot. though.
Yeah. So this has been really fun. Imperial Guard says, you good at maths. Thank you. Thank you. I did get A+. I did get A+.
Oh. Yeah.
And you know what it cost me?
It did.
Sleepless nights. Just kidding. Math was my favorite topic
You were
because
an IB, right?
it was logical linear thinking. Math was an IB. It was like science, psychology, and other things. And yeah, I did not get sleep when I was in the IB program. And then that's why I left and switched to Running Start. Because I was like, you know what? If I want to go to college, then I might as well get a way reduced cost and be getting college credit in addition to finishing out high school. That's what I told my little siblings, and they listened to me, their big sister, and they said, you know, I'm so proud of them. And now they're like 2 years in with that, and they just finished high school. That's it. That's it. That's what I'm talking about, Westchester. So no one knows. Hopefully you know.
It's a very old video.
I know, it's a really old video. That's like
Amorica.
saying like quoting Biggie Smalls at this point. It really dates me. It really does. But here I am.
There you are.
But yeah, so I do got milk, Timmy, and I had that finished with the glass, all done.
This feels good. I feel the drinks, the spice. It's all very cleansing.
Wow, we've been going at it for 2 hours too on a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, Imperial Guard said one of my brother-in-laws grew up with 11 siblings and his parents, and they had only 1 bathroom.
That's horrible.
That just sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah. I mean,
horrible.
you need it because it's just a fact. Someone's going to take it too.
I've been in that situation though. It's different when you're a kid. Like when I was a kid, I guess you don't really notice or care that
double-decker.
There's only 1 bathroom. And like at this time I was living with my family. So it was like my mom, my dad, my 2 siblings at the time, 2 older siblings. And so we were just in one room. So that's like 5 people in one room. And then in another room, you had my aunt and her 2 kids. So that's 3. And then in the living room, you had my another aunt and my grandma. So that's 10 people at a house, and we shared one bathroom.
How did you do that?
And I guess, I mean, I was young. I was like,
Did you like have to pee in between someone's like legs?
No, I guess, you know, some people go to work and you poop on company dime, and then you know, for me, I'm just a little kid, so I also had my own little toilet. I remember that, having a little potty. The love. We love because our parents once loved us. If they did, you know, and for some people, if their parents didn't love them, that sucks. And that's how you get sociopaths and psychopaths, you know.
It's true, yeah.
It's a cold world out there.
All right, so
what's this side by side?
So this is the solution. If you can't,
and you're married,
right? If you don't have 2,
oh yeah, this is so romantic.
If you don't have 2 bathrooms, then
this is my idea of a first date.
This is the way to go,
right? You go to a hot pot and you get like the spiciest thing, right? And you eat together. You look into each other's eyes.
You can hold hands,
and then after you can hold hands while you're cleaning your. Jeez, that's crazy.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a good time, but I mean, I wouldn't be upset if I had to do this with you. I'd be like, all right, honey, we're in this together.
Yeah,
we're all in this together.
That's so funny. Someone's like, thanks for the philosophy. You're welcome.
Larry Prime says, FFL question, should I build AR-15s to 420? Sure. I mean, I'm guessing you're building, Palmetto, State Armory, PSAs for 420. Because I don't know what else you're building for 420.
That's really cheap,
outside a PSA build.
Good for emotional support.
Is High Point making ARs now?
I just think it's funny that it's 420 specifically.
Well, it's a very.
Well, thanks, Liberty Prime. Good to see you around. Hope you've been well.
Yeah, I know, right? Hope I'm in well.
Yeah. Cool.
PSA rocks. Yeah, they do make good stuff. It's not like PSA make bad stuff. They do make good stuff. They just also have some very affordable stuff. If you know what I mean.
Didn't we have a 1911 from them?
No, we've never had a PSA.
Oh, I'm thinking of Rock.
We've had Rock Island.
Rock Island.
Yeah, we've had Rock Island.
Oh, like Long Island.
I think those are made in the Philippines.
Yeah, yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm pretty sure it's the Philippines, but those are smooth. They're 1911s.
Yeah, I actually like Rock Island, despite them being like cheap, whatever. They're solid, all metal, and I've had great success with them. I don't shoot with them these days, but I enjoyed it for when I had it.
Yeah. By the way, have you heard of a staccato?
STI staccato, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think of that compared to the Dan Wesson? What is it called? The DWX. Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't shot either the staccato or the DWX. It's funny because
I just recently saw a video with Coleon Noir, and he's like, "I love this thing. I love this."
He got the DWX.
No, he got the staccato. So I was like, "Ooh!"
So
it kind of looks like a 1911.
This was a gun that I was supposed to get next.
Yeah, this was back in 2020 that you thought you were gonna get it, and then it was all delayed.
They got delayed.
Of the freaking shutdown.
Because of the shutdowns, because out of New York, of course, crap.
Yeah.
And then they sent some out, and they had issues. They had to retool it, and now they're out again. And then the guys at the dealer at the shop said, "Oh, we just got one in, and we sold it." He said, "But you're next on the list." I'm like, "Oh, thanks."
Cool.
I'm like, I should have been first on the list.
But look at it. Oh, but it just still looks good.
I want the compact too. The compact.
So I loved how you sold it to me. The CZ top and the 1911 bottom.
That's actually the opposite.
Oh, it's the opposite?
It's a CZ.
A 1911
CZ
bottom.
So
CZ
bottom. And it's got a 2011 top.
Right. Oh, a 2011
But I mean, yes,
top.
you could say 1911. It's probably the same at this point, And
with
it's got
some slight
it's got that nice flat trigger,
got it.
nice short pull. I really want I want both. I want both the compact and I want the full size frame, the full frame. I mean, they're just look at that. It looks beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, come back. Show me your beautiful self.
I just love that Megan and Jim popped in. That just made my whole night. Thanks.
Yeah.
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 Oh,
Cool.
So, in any case, I'm just checking on my campaign
nothing
here.
on the campaign
Nothing
here.
new here.
Anyone wants to support, we got some different perk options. If you wanted, for example, like shout out, be in the beginning. Do we still have that?
So,
both the front and the back end executive producers?
Yeah, we should still have those.
Oh, okay. So those are still open.
Behind the scene teaser, sticker, sign set photo, and then again, they're cumulative perks on most of these. So you get the other below perks. There's gonna be coasters,
right?
The art print. No credits if you just want a no physical perk. Sorry, no credit. You got a credit with no physical perks. My tongue is hiding again. Roll credit with physical perks. Very spicy, but it's still like a little bit hot in there. Signed T-shirt, and then we have the executive producer credits. We have the end credit and then the opening credit. So those are the only 2 perks that haven't been claimed yet. But looks like someone's picked something from every single other perk. So that's cool.
Cool. All right.
Yeah. So we hit the 1 curve. But even if we don't hit the full budget, we should be able to, I think by the end, if we even hit like close to halfway, we should be fine for doing a high quality shoot. We just may not be able to afford, of course, the extra props and extra actors, but we can do a good shoot.
That's true.
We can do a good music video.
It might just be me again.
Yeah.
But hey, whatever.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Change it up. That sounds
question.
good.
What are your EDCs? I'll show you my EDC.
Yeah. Let's take a look.
I'll show you my EDC.
Mine is actually in the process. So right now I'm using Jax when I'm alone.
No, you also have your own, but yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see here.
Kimber.
Right.
But I want to change it out. It's like okay for like close combat, but
so I use the CZ2075.
Yeah, I really like yours. Yours is nice.
So that's what I use.
Yeah. So smooth. I really love this one.
So the reason why I take this one or I picked this one is simply because it's got all steel frame, so it's nice and heavy, so it's got lower recoil than a lot of the other compacts that are polymer. It's got a decocker on it, so you can make that first trigger pull a little shorter. It is double action and single after. So even though I'm not a fan of double action, at least it goes single after your first shot, and you get the decocker. It has a pretty sizable count. I think it's 8+1. Let me just double check that. I don't know why I can't remember what it is offhand. CZ.
I thought it was like 10.
75 no? Ramey magazine.
And you have the extension, I thought. Oh wow!
No, the extending is 4. I have that 4 too. Oh wait, so let me see here. Actually, is this the default 10?
You have the extension at 14 rounds, right?
So they have a 10 round. I'm trying to remember what the default is. Oh yeah, it is 10+1. Sorry, I don't know why I was switching that up. So never mind, it's 10+1. So you get yes, the standard. Yeah, standard is 10+1. So there you go. So
that's nice.
Right.
For
So
a standard.
That's pretty good for a compact all steel frame piece.
But with the extension, I mean, a 14+1, that's great. That's really good self-defense.
The only negative that's down there is that because it's so compact, like on the one that is not the extended mag, your pinky can often be off of it, which for some people,
if you're for me, that's not a problem.
For you, it's not a problem. For me, like, I do.
My hands fit just fine.
Right.
But
I don't care. Like, it doesn't bother me. Like, I can.
But
shoot
for
fine
most
with
guys, you would probably need the extension.
Some people, if you have bigger hands, you'd want, But again, it fits neatly into a concealed carry, holster, and that's just, to me, makes sense. And CZ is very like reliable, and I find the product to be just very accurate and excellent. So
yeah, we could go through mine. Oh, Megan's still here eating late night ramen and watching. Oh, I love late night ramen.
We should get some late night ramen. That'd be great.
We should. Let's go through mine. So right now, currently, it's
I'll pull it up real quick.
Kimber.
I got you.
I always forget. Kimber Bel Air. I think that's a style. The Kimber Micro 9. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I have a Kimber Micro 9. And it's good for, it shoots well. It's smooth. It doesn't get jammed. I really like it in that regard. But, ultimately,
hard to clean.
Frankly, with it is really hard to clean. Like, you have to do this maneuvering of pulling it at a certain certain amount. And if you're kind of weak, like me, that's why I carry guns.
It's got them ivory grips.
It's kind of hard to do, but
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's really smooth. I like it. That's probably my favorite compact.
It's super compact. I mean, it is crazy.
It is really
compact.
Yeah.
And super lightweight.
It's lightweight. It does run smooth. It's just if you don't have a problem with cleaning it, like if you can really maneuver it just right and then like get it off, then it's not that bad. But that's just me there. So, and I did try your CZ Ramy. I just like how it feels better. I like that it has more capacity. Like I like that it's a double stack as opposed to a single stack like this one is. Which just means it's not going to be as wide
because this is 5+1, so 6 total.
Yeah. It's more concealable for sure because it's so compact. It's very concealable.
Yeah, it's
way smaller than
but it's just not very. To me, it's not very good for like anything longer than like 10 yards. It really is
you really
meant
have to be up close.
Yeah, it's definitely a gun that's like someone's coming up at you or they're close kind of situation.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to, trust this to like take out somebody who's like 45 yards away.
Right.
But if you're
in
in
most,
close situations, someone's trying to attack
situations,
you, right? It's
most carry situations are close
Right.
combat, like a real life, that scenario when you're out and about, it would be close combat. So
right.
At home, that's where you got that long distance stuff. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. But I mean,
hollow sun sights on your head. Pull the trigger, blow.
head.
Posse commentators gonna resist on that big blue wow. Okay, that's a song called ANCAP Boogaloo Trap 2020. You should look that up by the Philosopher. It's a good song.
It is a good song.
Alex Vidal says he likes it from Free Knots, and he's a rapper. That must mean something. Okay, I'm being silly. All right.
Yeah, like I'm being silly. No, people don't even know what I'm talking about anymore.
Yeah.
It's just another rap group. So who is also one of my groomsmen. That's pretty important. So that's pretty
just
important.
another, yeah.
Just another person. But in any case, I am going to plug this again. So again, break the great reset. We are coming close. And look how beautiful that art is, right? Don't you want to get for yourself that beautiful art print so you can hang it up and you have, Klaus Schwab being attacked on the TV? It looks great. But yeah, we're gonna be
and who wants abs like that? I do.
Right, yeah.
Who wants wide birthing hips?
Who wants wide birth? Everyone trying to produce a baby.
Right.
Basically.
Everyone's feeling it, The end is nigh.
Really? I don't think
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think they're getting desperate.
I can feel that way with World War III,
Did you see the protests in France with all the people protesting the fact they're trying to raise the retirement age in France?
Yes, I did see. Yeah. I saw some posts about that. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's like, wait, when you cut people's bread, then they really protest. You know what I mean?
Right. There was protests in France for gas taxes.
Huge cabal of people
molesting
people on islands and stealing money. You're gonna make me wait an extra year to get retirement. That's the sad state of the Euro welfare countries.
I mean, it makes sense. It's hard to orchestrate a revolution alone. Just the way it is. It's hard to make that decision that you're going to go up against a monolith by yourself if you are all alone. So.
But you are not alone.
I understand most people choose to comply, but yeah, we're not alone.
We are not alone. You will rise. So speaking of rising, what are you excited about too for the other event coming up in the near future? Just to remind people, because I want to keep plugging this too, that we have Lou Perez coming down.
Oh yeah.
So Lou Perez, let me look this up here.
We'll be in Pork Fest, but that's just more a casual thing. We're not going there to speak or anything like we are for LP Washington.
What are you talking about? We're talking about Lou Perez.
I know. It's not about Pork Fest.
Oh, I see.
Like just events in general.
Topic. I see. Distracted from me. That's how it's going to be.
Oh, I thought you were talking about events.
No, I'm talking about Lou.
Yes. So we are not going to shoot Lou.
Yes.
He's so funny that you might, if you're strapped. No, I'm just kidding. You can't be strapped.
Yeah, that's gonna be September 8th. We're doing our range event with Lou Perez. So it'll be a comedy show. Plus
September 9th,
range time. We're gonna shoot
Florida.
guns, and we're gonna have a VIP mixer afterward, and we'll have some extra fun. So if you're in the Florida area or decide
Tampa Bay,
you want to come,
Central Florida,
September the 8th or September the 9th. Sorry.
Yeah.
Statement. September the 9th.
6 months from now.
6 months from now. Yeah. So you get plenty of time to plan if you want to go. We're going to be at Reload Gun Range.
Super awesome gun range. It's like a gun mall. Love that place.
Yeah.
But yeah, check it out. And it's a different ticketed event. So there's going to be a comedy show itself.
Yeah.
Then that's its own separate ticket. There's going to be range time with Lou. So you can shoot with Jack and I and Lou and then all the other people who choose to go there too. And then at the end, there's also a VIP mixer. So that's 3 different sessions, 3 different ticketed events. You can definitely pick and choose which one you want to go to or just one. So yeah, hope to see you there. And that will be a really good time with Lou.
It will be good.
Yeah.
And then on that note, Pork Fest, we will be at Pork Fest 20.
Yes.
So we're basically
we will be at Pork Fest.
We have most of the U.S. covered. We have Washington coming up. We have New Hampshire, and we have Florida.
Most of the corners.
So minus California, which is not exactly the best place to be anyway.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to go to SoCal right now.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah,
but the PNW, the ANE, and the good old
Florida
ASE,
American Southeast.
Yeah. No, Atlantic.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Making up stuff here.
No, Atlantic Southeast, Atlantic Northwest. I mean Northeast. I mean, gosh, it's real.
It is real.
It's real. So yeah, we'll be there, and we'll be at Pork Fest. I'm really excited for Pork Fest. That's just going to be a week of like fun. We don't have anything planned in terms of speaking engagements or whatever.
There'll probably be something impromptu, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll
probably
maybe impromptu.
If someone gives us a mic or two,
something.
We'll do karaoke if someone's willing. So if you're going, help make karaoke happen.
Sounds good. Yeah. Otherwise, we're there to network and see what that community.
What is this? A business meeting?
Yeah.
No, business. We're going to network.
You can network and not a business context.
That's true.
I feel like aren't you like constantly networking?
Yeah, we're working our net right now.
I mean, like when you go out into the market, like aren't you networking with those people? Like the store owners?
Kinda. I mean, I don't know if you make it a network.
Okay, yeah, I guess.
Maybe. Because you're like, that's like saying that you're like,
that's true. It's transactional.
It's
yeah, that's true. Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. But Liberty Network, yeah, dude, I want to network with Liberty people. Of course. I'm like, oh, what are you doing in Liberty space? What's going on for you?
That reminds me.
How are you handling it all? Oh, you just living your life in the mountains? Okay, that's cool too. Having kids, not a big deal. That's awesome. That's great.
The series, if you haven't seen it, not that it's like very all positive. I mean, some of it's pretty positive, but the NBC Boston is having a series called Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of New Hampshire, an NBC 10 Boston original. So they're covering the Free State Project, which is, of course, a part of what's putting on this event that we're going to go see. So they actually have a bunch of episodes. I thought it was pretty cool. And they try to, make the, I guess you could say the Free State at times not look as good.
There's a new episode.
I got to watch a new episode, Crypto 6. So I think it's I heard it's 11 total episodes. So this is the second last episode. So I'm excited to watch the rest of these episodes, but they've been a lot of fun because it connects you to the people who are over in the Free State Project. And it's definitely something to see and to see, how Liberty's growing, how people are trying to make their own community. But obviously when it comes to mainstream news, they always try to give a little slant to knock against them in some way, but it hasn't been very effective.
It's definitely the leftist slant too. It's not effective. Yeah. It's
because the Free Staters just sound pretty cool.
The anti-arguments
and their arguments on the other side are pretty weak. Yeah. So fortunately, if there was any hit piece element to this, it seems to have not really, done the impact they were hoping for.
Yeah.
So yeah, just definitely check it out. It's on you just Google Life, Liberty, the Pursuit of New Hampshire, NBC 10 Boston, whatever, and it's got some fun episodes. Oh, look at this!
Oh wow, we got some more super chats.
Timmy, guys, Dad that curses on musts.
Oh, Dad that curses. I think I've seen you on Twitter. Dad that
Hey.
curses. Must time suck. I like how you call it a time suck. That's such a good point.
Twitter.
I have wondered, like, is this just one big distraction? I don't know.
I'm gonna drink to that.
All right, we're gonna drink to
We're
that.
gonna drink to that, yeah.
And then soon I'm gonna use the restroom. Right, made it through one pepper. That was a long pepper. For those of you that remember or were here at the beginning, it was really long. It was like 7 or 8 inches. That's really long.
You've been too bigger.
Oh no.
I'm getting a little sloshy.
Yeah. I don't know what you mean. Oh, like I've had bigger jalapenos?
Yeah.
No.
That was the biggest jalapeno ever.
That might have been the longest jalapeno I've ever had. 7, 8 inches. It's pretty long. Yep. All right, so Jack got us some drinks over here. We're gonna cheers to Timmy. Timmy's cheersing to us in his profile picture. You can see he's like, yeah. So that's gonna be us in Washington. It's gonna be real fun. All right. Jack is
A
here.
little less sloppy.
All right, cheers to that, and then we'll play another game for
Cheers to that.
Timmy.
Cheers. Come on. Woo! All right.
That's good. We only drink once a month during these lives.
I know, we only drink when we do these things. Believe it. People probably think we're alcoholics.
I know, right? But it's actually
We actually
okay.
only drink really on the stream.
We'd
It's
have
for
done
you.
this truth card. Let me change it up.
Okay. What you got?
Oh, okay. Here. Truth. Who in this room will be broken up with their partner in the next 2 years?
Well, that's a scary card. Neither of us.
Who's gonna? Are you? Oh,
Neither of us.
oh, okay.
Neither.
Okay.
Good question though, because it makes it easy.
Yeah, but
And
you
that-
don't want a pepper.
LP. Well, okay, fine.
At this point, we're just playing jalapeno or jalapeno with truth.
Yeah, it's jalapeno truth.
Yeah. You had a lot of seeds.
Oh.
Sad. All right, Liberty Prime. This is for you as well. Here, I should fill more shots. For a 223 Wild AR-15, $160 for lower, $250 for upper. That's legal length, of course. Only a $10 profit for the 420 price is so nice.
Wow. I like the wild. You know, I mean, how I think it's got. Isn't the wild like have that
Is that a
barrel?
brand?
No,
Wild.
it's a twist rate. I think on the barrel, right?
Oh,
It gives it a little bit more
to make it
oomph.
a little faster.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
Because of
The
how
wild.
how the bore is drilled
Yeah.
out and has some twist to twist the
I
bullet.
believe so.
Oh,
I
huh.
believe so.
Neat.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll cheers to
Oh.
that as well. No, I'm just,
Oh, hold on. All right.
it does
Here's a
count
question
as-
for you.
RK. RK.
Okay. Truth. So you just pooped in a public restroom and realized there's no toilet paper. What do you do?
Oh,
That's a
that's
good one.
horrible. Oh,
That's a good one. I like that one. What do you do, Pho? What do you do when there's no TV? Because the thing is,
Jeez.
I know this has happened.
That's a nightmare scenario. Okay, the key to avoiding that is to always, before you poop, to look in the stall and make sure there's toilet paper. And if there's none, you better bet I'm gonna call that waiter or waitress or whoever works there, store manager, whatever, and be like, hey, I gotta take a dump.
Oh gosh.
I'm just kidding. I wouldn't say that. I'd just be like, hi, excuse me, sir. You're out of toilet paper in the women's restroom. And then I hope that they go in there and they refill it. And then that's when I let unleash the hot pot that I had. Okay.
Oh, sweet Lord.
So what would I do in that scenario that I didn't plan? Well, if you're in a disability bathroom like they're laden and required here in Florida do, right? Isn't like every restaurant has to have a disability? So you have to have a bathroom that has a sink in it as well and some soap. So that's the ones that I usually use. Therefore, what I would do in that horrible situation is just wash my hands and some paper towels. Anyway, I'm gonna eat some peppers.
Oh, and real quick here while you eat that pepper, Alert Time says wild lets you do 223 and 556. So that's right.
Huh.
So in other words, because normally because of the higher pressure 556.
Oh.
So it lets you shoot 223 and 556 through the same barrel. But
we were wrong.
But, well, I was trying to remember because I was trying to remember if because of the way the barrel is bored that it lets you do that. I'm trying to think here. So it has chamber differences that allow higher pressure. Interesting.
Imperial Guard said, "Pho really does have abs like that." Imperial Guard, you flatter me. I wish I had abs like that. I don't. Actually, when I'm starved, I do probably have abs like that. Like if I've like starved and I haven't like eaten for like 20 hours, then yeah, you'll see that I have kind of some abs. What do you think, Jack? You tell them. You tell them.
You got abs underneath. Face.
The what? Say it.
Underneath your skin, of course. Of course.
You got abs under that flab. That's what you're trying to say.
Abs under flab.
Would you still love me if I was a flab? Just a flab. Not a human. Okay. So we're looking at this campaign here. We still got 23 backers. We're at 16%. Okay. Hopefully, it keeps going up.
He's going up.
Didn't have anything during the stream. But we had a lot of good super chats. That was fun. Awesome. People liked the truth.
And we had a lot of hot spice.
That was fun drinking at Megan and Jim's birthday.
Oh,
that was cool. Megan's laughing.
That was good. And we got a good reminder of what a wild is.
Yeah. Whoops.
Whoops.
Right. We went through guns.
I don't have any wild
funny memes.
Things, so I forgot.
Went through the history, some case law in America. Good stuff. Good stuff.
It's good stuff. I'm holding out for that one little thing. Obviously, we're gonna wrap it up in the near soon future, but if we could get one support on this, what would we drink? We haven't sake so far. I don't even know.
Should we bring out what Mark gave us?
Oh, that's strong.
The Glenfiddich. I know that's
all
so
right,
strong.
Bring it out. Show the audience. We'll do a shot of Glenfiddich
if we get a support on the campaign of 25 or more.
You're right.
This is coercion.
This is.
No. I have no choice but to drop 25 or more on the campaign because.
And that's just basically the $20 level.
I need to see them take a shot of Glenfiddich that Mark Tanzer gave them. Shout out to Mark Tanzer.
Hey.
Oh, Beto Destrafa.
You've done more than enough.
I just want to share. Oh, you're so cool. He's also a producer.
Yeah.
So you're what helps make these monthly streams possible. So thank you so much.
That's true.
And we're gonna cheers to you because you're awesome and you're a producer, and that's $10. That's cool. And we're gonna do two truths. All right.
Are you grabbing the Glenfiddich?
Who in this room can fart the loudest? No, I'm just kidding. That wasn't a truth. That would just be the funniest part. And I'd be like Jack. Definitely. By far. Every morning it's like burr, 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 and it's not Blue's Clues. Okay? It's just Jack. Truth. We all have emergencies. Have you ever been? Oh, wait, you're supposed to do this. What am I saying? Here.
I've been told here on this thread that apparently Glenfiddich is not for shots. It's for sipping. But what they don't know is that tonight it's for shots.
That stuff's strong. We went to Yell Rev and Mark brought that. And you know who had some?
Who? Herrera, or is it?
No, shoot. Why am I forgetting his name? Anthony.
Sabatini.
Yeah, Anthony Sabatini.
We did shots with Sabatini.
He walked up. He already had some tequila, and then he went up to Mark, and then he's just like, "Hey, Mark," and he was like, "I'll hit you up now." And then Mark's like, "Oh, sure," and he filled him up. And then after that, Sabatini
We somehow always party with Sabatini.
Well, because he's a Floridian. I don't know.
Right?
He's always at these conservative events.
Yeah.
Or conservative to libertarian.
The RLC side of libertarian.
Yeah, the RLC side of the Republican Party.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then his song, like while he's so sloshed, I guess he could only do the song Tequila, which really has no words in it.
Except for tequila.
And so he's just like, I'm like, okay, he's just having a good time.
Yeah. Well, we all were. We all are having a good time.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was all benign. It was not. There was nothing. No tomfoolery or bad stuff. It was just everybody was partying, karaoke, and drinking.
Yeah.
Like it was very good and benign. Nothing bad.
Yeah, it was fun though. I will say it's a good Liberty crowd that comes together across the spectrum there.
Yeah.
All right, Glenn Fittich. Cheers to you, Beto Destrafa.
Cheers.
Yeah, we're almost at the end here. We had 2 hours and a half. Some of you have been here the whole time. Wow, you stretch yet?
Madman.
Oh, I gotta stretch. Oh man, we both worked out today. Jack already worked out yesterday, so
yeah, I had 2 workouts.
He's really sore.
I'm very sore. All right, cheers.
Cheers again.
You're right. This is
Shalom.
not supposed to be. Yeah. What else do you know? What's in Chinese?
I guess that's all I know. I know.
You salute?
In Japanese, it's like kanpai, but I don't really
Kanpai?
say that.
What about? Wait, what? Isn't there another word in Spanish?
I should know. Like,
that you think-
I should know something in
What's a-
Vietnamese
wait,
or
a
Chinese. Like, how do I
provecho or-
not?
Wait, provecho.
Oh,
Portuguese?
in Spanish, it's that's just like have a good meal, enjoy your meal, buen provecho.
Right. Okay, well, buen provecho. It's a meal.
I guess.
Cheers. This is gonna hurt. Because you're right. It's not supposed to be shotted. It's supposed to be sipped. Woo! Oh boy. Oh yeah. That's that Scotch whiskey.
That's strong.
12-year.
Saliente in
Oh.
Ireland or Scotland, I think, or Irish or Scottish. Okay.
Scottish. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, salute, cheers,
percent.
l'chaim, shalom. Okay.
Uh,
Oh,
40%.
40%. That's
So
ridiculous.
that's stronger. That's that stronger.
And where was this made? Ireland?
This is Scotch whiskey,
Oh, Scottish.
but it says that the specific distillery was in Dufftown,
Huh.
Banffshire, Scotland. And I said Banff because it has 2 F's. Look, I'm not lying. See, it says Dufftown.
Wow. Hand built by William Grant and family. Ah, that's so cool. Glenn Fittich of Scotland, right?
Wow.
Scottish, Celtic. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. Did you say that Celtic or Celtic? I always get that confused.
I thought it was Celtic. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna use the rest.
Celtic, Celtic. Okay. Glenn Fitch is Scotland. So thank you so much. Yeah, appreciate Beto, and thanks everybody too for hanging on out. We're gonna hang out just a little bit more. We were originally planning to stream until midnight. Midnight here for some of you, I guess, in different places. It's not quite midnight, but we've been just really having a good time. Doing this next music video and preparing for this upcoming event. So we just really want to say thank you. Seriously, thank you for helping us be able to do these things and to continue, trying to push the culture of liberty into different avenues. I've actually been really happy with my End the Fed song, being on Instagram, because if you go on their tags where you can like pull up music and other stuff like that, we serviced our songs to like all the different streaming services, Spotify and Amazon Music, Apple Music, all that stuff. So now you can actually put the music into different things. So a lot of people, when all the bank bailout stuff went down and, the Federal Reserve and they're, trying to do the special unlimited insurance for everybody, that kind of thing. They started using the End the Fed song on everything with their memes, their posts talking about it. So I thought that was pretty funny. So definitely appreciate your help in being able to make that song and other songs like that make people really think about what's going on out there. So it's pretty cool. And in the meantime, what could we talk about here while she's out of the room? I'll take a look at the comments here and see if there's anything interesting. Oh, you're back already? Oh, I was just about to go to comments and ask some questions, but I guess you're back.
Did we do 2 truth or jalapenos for Beethoven? Wow, we got a support on the campaign.
Which means, we did shot part 2.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, shoot.
I was like, crap. I thought I was going to get out of this.
You ain't getting out of it.
Guess somebody's going to be doing karaoke after the show.
Oh, boy. Well, here we go.
My eyes, can you sew them shut? Jesus Christ, deny you. Okay, anyway, am I gonna get flagged for singing that song?
You're now officially flagged.
So are we gonna get censored because copyright strike?
No.
Yeah, because it wasn't on tune.
All right.
Okay, I'm not gonna survive.
You're
Cheers.
not. This is gonna be crazy. Cheers.
You know who has to deal with me?
Supported?
Jack. So whoever's doing this, you're making it hard for Jack.
I know. I'm the one who has to deal with it. All right. So cheers. I'm not sure whoever is. If you want to say, if you just support, you're welcome to. We obviously protect everybody who supports. We don't dox anybody. So
wow.
Cheers to whoever did that. And thank you.
Yeah, cheers. I know I drank it already.
Woo! That is strong.
That's strong.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing karaoke. One of these days.
What are your favorite karaoke songs, people? Tell me.
We're gonna do like a Tom Woods house event, like he does.
Oh, you want to do a house event?
One of these days, we're gonna do a special house event kind of thing. Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Well, we're working on having nice outdoor. Cool.
Yeah, we're gonna work up to that. In the meantime, if we do a big or like a friends and fans event, we could do something like where we rent a venue kind of thing.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That could be fun.
Mm-hmm.
We really need to do that actually.
Like maybe rent a karaoke, like a Korean karaoke bar where they have like individuated.
That'd be nice if one existed close enough to do it.
I know.
In the more realistic
one really
sense,
far.
Yeah. Maybe a restaurant or something like that. So,
unfortunately, we're not in little, Auburn, Alabama, which is like uniquely a Korean town.
Yeah.
Like you would never think like, oh, I'm in Auburn, Alabama. But turns out if you build a Kia factory, the Koreans will come. It's true. They come and they set up nice Korean markets and Korean karaoke's.
They did, and it's crazy because like outside of that, we were at Mises University. We went to some bars and like this one place. I was saying to her like everybody in that bar looked like they were either trying to fight or trying to fuck. It was just that was that southern kind of bar.
Oh my gosh, I know what you're talking about. Where it had levels.
Yeah, multiple levels.
Like there were levels, and you're so right. Like you would make eye contact.
Everybody
with people,
there was on an edge,
and they were either like ready to fight you,
right,
or they were ready to
like,
fake.
Yeah,
to fake. Oh, fake.
Right.
Like Megan's husband
it's some real Auburn, Alabama feel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they had amazing.
It was real Auburn,
karaoke.
Alabama feel. That is true.
It's true.
I felt the country.
They had like,
and everyone got rowdy when we sang "Sweet Home Alabama," because we're in Alabama. So everyone's like, "Oh yeah, we're in Alabama."
You're like one more shot away from like doing karaoke right now live.
I know. I already did it a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks.
I'm feeling it too. I mean, between
the Break the Great Reset donor.
Yeah.
Our only one tonight. Yeah, really appreciate you. I also really appreciate all the super chats. Also appreciate my cool co-host here, Jack Lloyd.
Thank you. I do what I can. I
would say the philosopher would not be possible if it wasn't for Jack.
That's very true.
I have to say. I mean, it would probably exist if it was just me all these 8 years. But you know what it would be like?
She'd be dead and in a gutter already. That's true.
In a gutter.
In the gutter.
Wow, dang, it got really dark.
It got dark.
Please tell us why.
Because here's the thing. When it comes to producers, right?
You're saying my real name's not the philosopher.
Oh, your real name's fuck. Chan.
So I'd be dead in the gutter. Tell me more.
Well, you know,
Tell me.
So like when it comes, so like when it comes to producers and production, right? Like a talent, right? They don't have all the business acumen. They don't have all the ways to manage things.
And
right?
they don't have the connections.
Right. They don't have the connections.
Pre-existing connections. True.
So, you know, we work together, but you're unique because unlike a lot of people who are just talented, stuff like that, who don't actually know what they're talking about, you actually were already a libertarian, peaceful parent advocate, philosophy-oriented person.
And I'm good with technology.
And you're good
so
with
I would have
technology.
been able to edit my own videos.
Right.
Anyway, but would they have been long-winded and extremely detailed for no good reason? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Because that's what ESTJs do. We explain things in a linear, logical fashion.
You and your
fashion. You know, just because logic, reason, evidence, and being literal. You know, what's real, what's fake? What can you see, hear, touch, taste, smell? That's what I'm about. 'Cause I'm sensing.
You're sensing. Yes, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, look up your
are.
MBTI people. It's kind of cool. You know, obviously,
way to
like
think
that's
about
not everything about you, but it is it is, I learned that through Jack, just like remembering, oh, the MBTI, you know, and then I like looked into it and I'm like, oh, okay, what do I score? And I'm like, oh, it makes sense now. Why I get along better with people who are extroverts, right? As opposed to introverts, or someone who is okay, like they're more sensing, like for example, like they like doing sports or being active or whatever, or in, you know, using their body or whatever, like whatever. Okay, so that's, I see it, I get it now. Or like I'm a T type, so I didn't really like, oh, that was me, I hit the table.
Oh, I thought it was a firework.
No. Or like learning that I was a T type. Oh, okay, that makes sense. I would be shamed by people who I think were F types, like people who based their worldview based on how they felt and their emotions, as opposed to reason and evidence, which is what I prefer to base my truth off of, and what I choose to believe. You know, and I found like, oh wow, okay, that makes sense now. Why certain people I would think I'm not compatible with them. You know, and it could just be for that one little thing. And it's you know, it's pretty, it was good to learn that about myself and actually understand, like, you know, the kinds of people I am attracted to, or the kinds of people that I'm just naturally not. There's nothing personal against them or anything. It's just like, oh, okay, recognizing your own personal proclivities and what your preferences are. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I think it's, I mean, like,
and I'm drunk. You can see how red I am. Look, I'm like a tomato. You could like literally go from the beginning and I was like a golden tan. And now I'm like a tomato.
I think that's what really, that's when we have our best conversations though, is when we get like really sloshed.
Really sloshed.
Yeah. Like this, not that we can't have them beforehand, but it's like, whenever we start to like, you know, get past those like first 5 drinks, that's when we get real deep. You know what I mean?
That's when you let loose, you know.
That's when we let loose, and we're just
that's
like,
when
it's kind of like Alex Jones. Like we're like Alex Jones with that. We're like, you know what I mean? When he goes like, all right, you know, here's what's really.
Did you know the frogs are gay?
Yeah.
Did you know? Did you know they're homosexual? And did you know it's all orchestrated by the New World Order? We wouldn't have gay frogs if it wasn't for the New World Order, okay? Okay. Okay, I don't know why I turned the king of the hill, okay? That's what I mean. It's really hard to stick to accents.
Your accents. Your trans accent. That's the problem.
I'm trans accent.
You identify with too many accents.
I'm trans. Oh.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I like to do at work? I like to stand up for the fact that it is okay to assume someone's gender. That it shouldn't be seen as, oh my gosh, you're Hitler. So I like to say, I like to teach, you know, and I'm a software engineer. So like what that means is most people around me are men. And so then when I'm on a call and like I had this happen before, like it was my lead software engineer, or, well, senior software engineer, whatever you want to call it. And he was like, he's like, okay, we're doing our daily stand-up. And he's like, all right, ladies first, and I'm like the only girl on the call.
Right.
And then I come off mute and I'm like, did you just assume my gender? I just love doing that.
You mess with me.
I love it. I love trolling people and just like pretending I'm an SJW, catching them off guard. And then he's like, oh, sorry. And I'm like, haha, just kidding. It's fine. And he's like, oh my God, can you not even do that anymore? And then it broke out into like a quick little, like, like off the cuff, like conversation about like how it's so stupid, how you can't just like assume someone's gender and you have to be all sensitive and stuff. So yeah, that's how you can rebel, even when you're working in a corporation. Okay, so
it's true because it's like,
but then you could still drop Liberty Seeds. That's what I'm saying. Like, you still can.
What's the problem with sitting there and observing reality and saying, oh, okay, you look like this thing called a guy or a girl? Like, it's just like, okay.
And especially for those of you with children, it's important to teach your children who can impregnate you or not, or who you can impregnate.
What if they have a semen gun?
But especially when you're a child and you're a girl, like for me, it's good to know semen gun. I just heard. Oh my gosh. Well, then you shoot them with a real gun, and there's that. But
that's why kids gotta stay strapped, man.
Right, but it's like, I mean,
so many predators out there.
It's crazy that we have to get to this point, but it's good to have this sort of conversation of like, hey, look, why is it practically a good idea to understand how to tell the difference between a male and a female? Like ultimately it is a totally separate form of existence to be a woman as opposed to a man. Like there are just shared commonalities and experiences that you will only share with other women if you're a woman, or that you only share with other men if you're a man. Like, for example, I'll never know, and I don't want to know what it's like to just, you wake up in the morning and, you didn't chop wood, but you got wood, like, I don't know. Or like a guy doesn't know, like once a month, or rather 3 weeks of the month, you just dealing with what's going on in your body.
You have
and
emotions.
You're like,
right. Periods are real. They're not fake.
Whereas women can really relate to each other. And it's not to say that there aren't men who are feminine or whatever,
right.
But it is just something to note that ultimately most people want to have children, and you do want to know who you can have children with or not. And more so when you're a kid, you need to know who can really be dangerous around you. And it's not to say that if you're a girl and you see a girl stranger, you should be like just totally free and open or whatever. But it's just understanding like the power dynamic difference, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like,
well, I think it's just about
it's
like reality. Like it's just a question of, are you able to make your own observations about what you see and look at the empirical facts of what is, and say, okay, I can analyze this accurately and judge what is. It doesn't matter what you call yourself. You look at the facts, just like in any other circumstance. Like if someone is committing an act of fraud, right? They say, hey, would you like to buy my gold coin? But they give you a peanut. You'd be like, okay, that's a peanut, not a gold coin, right? You observe physical reality, and that physical reality observation is what enables you to make wise decisions and to avoid people who actually make manifest, false statements about reality.
And it's really corrosive to go up to a child and be like, this is a woman when it's actually a man or whatever.
Right. If you got outdoor plumbing, that ain't a woman.
It's just robbing kids of the experience to truly identify what reality is.
Right.
And the counter is like, well, the reason that, whatever progressive or leftist is pushing this agenda, like they'll say, well, the reason is you don't want kids to see a difference between men and women to avoid prejudice. Right. But when you look at it in practice, what happens, right? Drag queen story time. What are they doing? They're perpetuating feminist stereotypes, like stereotypes of male versus female. Literally, they're having big boobies on or whatever. Right? It's okay, if you're really trying to like not create a culture of bigotry, wouldn't it just be easier to have real women talk about their real stories, or real men talk about their real life experiences, and create a culture of empathy that way? Like, why do you have to lie to children and be in their face and be like, hey, you're a bigot if you don't call me a woman when I'm actually a man and it's pretty obvious to you. You know what I mean? Like, it's really distracting and corrosive to kids to make them think about that instead of helping them to see real reality, which could be, hey, I was born a man, and for whatever reason, my life experience or what, I now want to wear dresses, or now I really want to be castrated. I, for some reason, really am uncomfortable having a penis and balls, and I do want to just cut it off. But that's the truth. That's something that should be said in specificity, as opposed to, I'm a woman and you're a Nazi if you call me a man, when it's like, in reality, you are a man. You know what I mean? Like, all we're advocating for is the truth and the ability to speak the truth as specifically as possible, and to not distract and cover up reality with abstractions, you know?
Right. It's perfectly okay to say what your proclivities are, or what you prefer, or what you want to experience. There's nothing inherently wrong with just being honest about the fact that if a guy's like, oh, I just happen to like feel really like stress-free when I do a drag show, this, that, it's like, okay, that's real.
Yeah.
Like that's okay. You feel this way when you do this. Okay, that's reality. Right.
And you can educate children that there are people like that.
Right.
And that
just like there's people who like to drive Hondas.
They are not any less worthy of individual rights than you or me. Right. That's it. That because that's ultimately the point, right, of what these people are trying to say. They're like, oh, the reason we're having drag queen story time is to avoid gay bashing and trans bashing in the future. It's like, all I'm saying is there's another way that's even better that actually instills a culture of critical thinking and philosophy, which is just helping people to share their real stories and being real, being specific, and being like, hey, you can be any flavor or variation of feminine or masculine. You shouldn't be shamed, bullied, mistreated, violated simply for how feminine or masculine you choose to be, right? Or even if you do choose to castrate yourself eventually and you're like, I want to be a woman, or I want to try to grow a penis and be a man, like because there are women that do that. Like, the whole point and the origin of this movement that shouldn't be diluted with this, grabs for tyranny, is just the very real situation of people really being violated and beaten up, sometimes murdered, just because they, chose to be trans, or they were gay, or something like that. Like, that's the real things you can actually educate your children on, and those are the things that you should be, teaching your children on when they're ready. Like, you wouldn't tell a 5-year-old this violent stuff that's going on. They don't need to know. But I'm just saying, like, if it comes up, which it may, right? You might be in a mall and you're with your child and they're like, hey, what's that? That's a man wearing a dress. Okay, you can have a conversation there, right? If you're like, oh, well, some people choose to do that, and it's not a problem. He's not violating anybody. He just chooses to dress that way. It's not a problem, right? There's no need to like point and laugh at him and make him feel bad and things like that. So that's kind of like the whole balance in between these extremes. Because there are people who are also like, no, you can't, cross dress or whatever, and men shouldn't wear dresses. And that's the extreme that created the other extreme of, okay, I'm going to go through sex change therapy or sex mutilation therapy.
Well, I think that drives the most, I think, important aspect of that, which is that what leads us to people's different proclivities in the first place? Why does someone have whatever it is? It doesn't matter what direction it is.
Yeah.
What is the causal relationship and the emotional relationships that led to that outcome? And I think that's often what's missed in the discourse.
Yeah, so often.
Is that a lot of times these things are reactionary to emotional invalidation, neglect, abuse, and other things like that. So it's You know what I mean? It's something that has to be addressed independently,
or else the cycle just continues.
Right.
The cycle of abuse, trauma, falsehoods just continues.
Right.
You know, and those same people would double down. Like if they're faced with more bullying, would they change and come back and suddenly be enlightened as to how they got there? Oh, good night, Megan and Jim. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks for the fun combo. Hope you enjoyed your ramen with us as the backdrop. That's really cool. Take care.
Yeah. But yeah.
Joe tell if you speak Canto. I forgot how to say it in Vietnamese.
It's okay. We can Google it, but I'm not going to.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, you know, one of like the main aspect to that is simply looking at what where it comes from and what specifically people are wanting out of it. So, because someone said, why should men wear a dress? Which is kind of funny because it's like,
well, there's no ought for men to wear a dress.
No,
it's just,
the superficiality of
why shouldn't
the clothing aspect is kind of interesting to think about, because you think, like, for example, you have Scottish wearing kilts, right?
Right.
That's a dress.
Scottish men wearing skirts,
but you don't normally, someone
usually without underwear too,
right.
which is really gay.
You don't do a caber toss, and all this masculine stuff, and think, you're a girl. So clothing is,
it's culture.
In a historical longitudinal sense, clothing is context neutral, and at different points in history you had boys who would wear pink, like go back 1700s, early 1800s, and stuff like that. But when it's context rich, we're talking about like, okay, in a certain cultural context of present, okay, what's actually going on, right? And then you can divorce the aspect of the clothing wearing in that specific context, and actually just look at the person's mentality, right? Why are they doing this, right? That's where you really get down to the root, is why is somebody wanting to do these particular actions? What led to that kind of thing? And then that's where you often will get the reactionary part, right? Where you're looking at someone who, because of different types of shaming and emotional alienation, wants to be more expressive, or didn't feel comfortable, or didn't, I think someone was talking about like Kurt Cobain. They're like, oh, Kurt Cobain said he didn't feel like he matched the masculinity of the culture because he like compared himself to like a Budweiser commercial. And it's like a big part of this is that people take stereotypes of commercialized caricatures, and if you don't have healthy parenting and good modeling in your life, then you're comparing yourself to these like hokey stereotypes that you see in mass media and culture, and they don't have a comfortability to be like, no, it's okay to be masculine and be like, oh, I feel my feelings, or I cry, or stuff like that. They don't have any emotional mirroring. They don't have any meaningful sense of self-identity within the range and gamut of like a masculine human experience. And so they end up rejecting masculinity outright, in whole cloth, because they don't have any nuance. They just have a black and white media characteristic of masculinity, as opposed to being like, no, it's being a guy doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be like stoic, can't talk, can't show emotions, can't cry. And I think that type of toxic culture has caused a lot of confusion in young men, and for them to then,
and it keeps them from self-knowledge, especially when they don't feel stoic. They don't feel confident. They feel anxious. They feel depressed. If you're in a world where everyone's telling you should not feel that way, and if crying's for girls, then you're now suddenly horrible. A boy who's cut off from the rich depth of self-knowledge you could have. So I mean, that's a big thing I'm really passionate about. That's what I've been passionate about since day one. And frankly, one of the original purposes of why I started The Philosopher, which is to help have a strong culture and build a strong culture of self-knowledge and a world where we can communicate with each other and try to connect and really understand why we think the way that we do, or do the things that we do, or feel the way that we do. To me, it's all important part of how we grow and learn and make improvements. Like before you can really improve and fix the problem, you have to know the root causes. And before you can even identify the root cause of a problem, you have to first even acknowledge and find that the problem exists, right? You can't go into a state of investigating something or knowing what to fix or figuring out what to fix if you don't even think anything's broken, if you don't even see the problems. So, you know, that's what we're here trying to do. And big part of it is pointing out the massive problem we face in front of us, which is the state. It is the biggest problem in our lifetime to deal with, which is statism, the mindset of statism, the idea that a group of people can take your money by force or take your home and own your home for this idea of, you know, the greater good, which is just all insane because they're really just violating the good that exists for this potentiality that hasn't even manifested. So that's what we're here to do. Just try to help people seek and find the truth. And I know that, you know, whatever, it doesn't mean that you have to accept someone who is trans, going back on that topic, or be friends with someone who's gay. All we're saying is you can value respecting individual body and property rights for all, even if those people you don't subjectively agree with their lifestyle. You know, like I'm not friends with heroin and crack addicts. Okay. Like, but I want it to not be illegal. I don't want someone to be thrown in prison, and I don't want to be taxed and have my money that's taken from me used to put people in solitary confinement who are otherwise just destroying their own life, technically, you know. And if they're doing anything else like stealing or whatever, it's not the drugs, it's their act of theft that's wrong. So anyway, it'll all be a better place if we just communicate.
It's a big aspect of thinking
and
about.
Wow, we're past 3 hours now.
Yeah, we are past 3 hours. We did good. But yeah, I just think that, like just piggybacking off what you said, a big part of the misconceptions of like dealing with root issues is that a lot of people are often distracted by the superficialities of culture war things.
Oh, there's so many culture wars.
Right. But they miss
Are you pro-abortion or anti-abortion? Right. Are you pro-drugs or anti-drug? Are you and I'm like, I'm just pro-liberty, okay? Like, I'm just pro-property rights.
The culture war aspects only matter to the extent that someone is trying to distance you from empirical reality and trying to use collectivism, which is why stuff like CRT and you know, other types of group-based, class-based theory that's meant to make everyone of a certain class or race evil or bad by default, that's unethical.
Right.
So
like trying to redefine racism
that's what we, you know, stand against, is that type of collectivism, collective guilt or collective benefit. So, you know, when it comes to a lot of these different culture issues, a lot of it is used to distract from the fact that, you know, where these type of edge issues meet with, you know, people being upset about, you know, whatever it is, you know, in schools, this or that, you know, with what's being taught or you know, all the different million genders, whatever. They miss out on the fact that
we're now animals and helicopters and whatever.
That the only reason that these types of things even have any weight is because people have decided to accept that the government should centrally plan the lives of the young people, right? You wouldn't have this issue if the government wasn't allowed to sit there and be like, oh, well, we get to control your kids for 13 years, right? You have a whole system built to indoctrinate.
Parents being punished for not sending their kids to a public school. Yeah.
So it's really, you know, incredible to you know, take that in and to take the tough thought process and to be consistent and say, you know, as much as there's all this crazy stuff, the solution is not more government control. The solution is getting government out of the way and out of our lives, because government uses culture war issues and culture war indoctrination as the chief tool to both divide and control.
Yep.
And so a lot of these issues that we see, you know, especially right now, the mainstream with the Culture War stuff, is used to really distract people from the fact that if you're, relying on the government to be your solutions provider, you're centralizing that power in a way that makes that it becomes harder and harder for you to have any control of your own life or to push back against things that are elements of distorting children's realities or rationalizing theft and violence.
Bottom line, don't send your kids to public school.
Yeah, don't get your kids out of public school.
All right,
Get
them out if
sure.
you send them there.
For sure.
And even, and I'm including I would say compulsory schools in general. Okay, sounds good. And we'll wrap it up soon because we're already past the time. Yeah, gosh, 3 hours and 10 minutes. Some of you here the whole time. But anyway, what I was saying about if your kids are in a public school, charter school, or even a private school where it fits the theme of what I call compulsory schooling, or in general, what is called compulsory schooling, which just means that it's age-based. So children are separated by age instead of learning style or interests. And children are actually forced into a curriculum. So any sort of compulsory school would have okay, you have one class for an hour, it's math, another class for English, et cetera, et cetera. So I actually recommend against that. I recommend that children be given the freedom to self-direct their own learning, which just means that they're learning things because they're actually interested in them. They're reading a book because they're actually interested in reading that particular book, and not, everyone has to read The Giver or whatever.
The Giver was good, but
it was good. It shouldn't be mandated. The reason why is because you actually learn and retain information better when you're actually learning something that you yourself wanted to learn in the first place. I mean, how many of you who went through compulsory schooling just memorized things for a test, and then when the test was over, you forgot everything? I mean, I did that so many times because it was not applicable for my life to learn about, I don't know, how many electrons are in a whatever proton.
8 in the valence shell.
I mean, did that help me get my programmer job? No. That was self-directed learning. That was learning React. That was learning C#. That was learning things by myself, and learning that application. So just to take that mindset of what you expect yourself to have as an adult, right? Nobody's telling you what to learn. No one's telling you what career you should pursue next. No one's telling you what job to get. So why not allow children that same freedom that they're going to get when they're finally adults, which, as we know, only partially they'll get that freedom because we're all taxed and stuff, and controlled otherwise in the market through licenses and fees and all kinds of regulations.
Really?
What?
Okay.
But right, there's so many. It's almost so normalized at this point. It's crazy. We should give children that same freedom. You also shouldn't spank or beat your kids or hit them, just like you wouldn't in an adult friend situation or adult marriage. You wouldn't beat your wife like most people get in the world. That's wrong to beat your wife into submission or your husband. So why would you allow beating of your own children or spanking them? And in the same token, when it comes to education, why would you force your child to memorize things they don't want to memorize and they have no interest in? Not only is it practically doesn't make sense because they're not going to retain that information, but it's also just abusive. It's just psychologically abusive to force somebody to do something that they don't want to do. So that's why I'm against compulsory schooling, whether it's a private compulsory school or a public compulsory school or one of these pseudo in-betweens, charter schools. It's just something that you really shouldn't send your kid to, and to not get them used to being carted around and, separated by age. You should, if anything, send your child to a self-directed learning center or something, or homeschool them. There's a lot of curriculums online nowadays. Ron Paul, he offers a homeschool curriculum. Tom Woods actually has some segments on the Ron Paul homeschool curriculum as well. Like if you need help, for example, if you wanted to do it that way in a more traditional
I'm against
sense.
curriculum.
I am against curriculum as well, but I'm just saying there are options and people can find what they need, and you really don't need to send your kids, especially to a public school for sure, where a big part of what they're doing is indoctrinating your kids to hate you. Just like indoctrinating your kids to love the state and to hate you and your meat eating, gas guzzling ways, turning all these kids going to school. Nowadays, the current culture is just to become like a homosexual communist who's confused about their gender and is vegan. Like that's and hates guns and wants everyone to be disarmed. That's literally the current culture in public school right now.
I mean, that's generous. I would say much further than that, because change your gender and sexual identity like 6 times a day. Like, yeah, it's crazy. Like the whole orchestration of that, though, like in terms of what's being done in schools and other things, outside of it, is just to keep kids in a constant state of seeking affirmation, validation, and self-worth through superficial identity that's in their control, because they otherwise don't feel and don't have a sense of self-autonomy in their home life and in their school life. So in other words, they give kids on a platter a way to be like, here's how you can chart your destiny by coming up with these labels for yourself. Now you have acceptance and popularity because you're unique. But in reality, they're giving it to these kids who don't have much. And that becomes their reason for existence. And that's not only dysfunctional, but it's very dangerous, of course, because now you're having their whole existence wrapped up in this identity, and whether they get validation of that or not is going to be an all or nothing psychological construct as to whether or not they feel whole about their self or worthy. And so, of course, naturally, when they get pushback or questioning, now it's not simply a matter of, is that the best look for you? It's, this is my whole identity. And that's how come there's a very high, and tragically so, suicide rate among those who try to go in that direction. Yeah. And a big part of that too is because they're doing it in reaction to not having a good home life and good affirmation, love. Otherwise, it's very common. It's actually the norm, not the exception. So these types of psychological and philosophical regimes are extraordinarily predatory upon those who otherwise lack socioeconomic and social support, and that's why it is very horrible, in terms of what's done to kids and trying to push this and confuse them early on, when it's something that shouldn't even be a thing. Kids should just be free to explore. And if a boy wears a dress, it shouldn't be like, let's keep affirming this. It's just, okay, he was playing around, let's see what happens, kind of thing. And this is just one aspect of school.
Before you got all into this gender confusion, you already had anti-capitalism pervaded. It was founded in communism, socialism to begin with, and to have kids be, become love their country. That's why you have and do the Pledge of Allegiance every day. It's to have this false idea, have kids who don't even understand yet and can conceptualize these ideas of liberty, to just pledge their lives to this abstraction called the state, and to basically just worship authority from day one. Like to just build this whole aspect that society is only the way it is because of government. They get you in early and indoctrinate you early to believe that the world is the way it is, and is whatever, because of the state. Like the good things only come from the state, and everything bad, it's just like private actors. And they always cover up like state violence to begin with. So, that's really what it's about. So get your kids out if you can, and really don't send them.
Hide your kids, hide your wife
to these indoctrination centers.
Try to indoctrinate everybody in the state is up in here.
Yeah, and if you want to look up self-directed learning, I mean, the tools out there are huge, especially now with the internet. Like kids can really just there are endless books, there are endless science toolkits, endless games. Like there are of so many things, and kids have a natural thirst and curiosity for knowledge and the world, you just have to listen. You just have to listen to them. You just got to ask them, what do you like? What do you want to do? What do you want to learn? And you'll be amazed at how incredible kids are when they're allowed to be free to just explore the world with adults there as protectors, as guidance, to say, oh, don't touch that. That's a hot stove. Like, oh, stay out of the road. You know what I mean? Like, oh, stay away from strangers. Like, be careful of this or that. That's what adults are here for, to facilitate and to guide and to protect. Adults should not be here to control and to, order children around. That's just getting them used to being ordered around and controlled by the state. Do you really want that for your kids? So anyway, this is all the libertarians, the way that we ultimately, the long-term strategy is we must transform our home lives. We can't have status homes and expect a free society. We have to start at home, and we have to have consensual relationships, especially with our children, and have peaceful relationships as well. So.
And just real quick,
Crawford
McDowell came on by. He said, I just placed her daughter in Montessori and noticed the difference after only a month. She is 19 months, and I can already see self-esteem issues from her old school resolved by her new school. And yet, Montessori is
Crawford. Congrats. That's so cool. She's 19 months
it's
now.
It's a great stepping stone. It's not obviously the full unschooling, self-directed, that I promote, but definitely being a Montessori
way better than compulsory.
Better than compulsory school. Absolutely. I'd be very happy if someone was in a Montessori school over a traditional compulsory or whatever public school. So
could you explain the nuances for people who may not know? Like,
sure.
Okay, yeah. What's a Montessori school?
So Montessori definitely has a lot more free play aspects and a lot more flexibility. They do have a curriculum, so it's not true full unschooling. And so therefore, like, Montessori is a stepping stone. It's like an in-between compulsory schooling and unschooling. And it's certainly a good stepping stone. Like, I'd be, again, it's like, I'm glad you moved from there to there. And I wish everybody did. Like, if everybody gets to Montessori, at least that would be huge for the culture.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a big part of like what we try to advocate for here, which is that young kids need to be in an environment where adults are acting as facilitators instead of performance judges. And so, for some people who are just not familiar with this, unschooling, is this idea of young people driving the bulk of their education through their own self-directed activities. And for those who haven't ever seen anything like this, I highly recommend one of the greatest examples that exists. That's a long-standing example, is the Sudbury Valley School in Framingham, Massachusetts. It's been around since 1968.
I want to start a school like that with you. That'll be cool.
It won't be Sudbury exactly, but it'll be an actual unschooling center.
It won't have like they have like concepts of democracy and voting, which
they're more democratic. Which I'm not into the democracy aspect.
But that's just one tiny thing of what they do. Like the overall idea is like really radical, revolutionary compared to what you have today in compulsory school settings.
So if you never heard of this, go Google. That is.
Just there's lots of videos.
Sudbury Valley School, SUDB, DB Sud BURY. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, SUD like suds, soap suds, and then bury, like you bury a body.
Right.
Sudbury Valley School.
Yeah, so it's not the only solution in the unschooling method. It is just one of the more successful ones that has a long history, so you can get a sense of it. And there's tons of other Sudbury schools around the world. There's other unschooling centers, but that's just like your first introduction to the topic. It's like, oh, okay, I see how this goes. So we got one of our gay friends here.
Hey, it's David Dabin Gay. So for those of you that don't know,
he speaks better Vietnamese than you do.
He is literally really good at Vietnamese, and he's good at Liberty Memes.
Liberty Memes,
so
baby.
This is one of the admins of Liberty Memes here.
Yeah,
and he's
his
hilarious.
Pretty cool too.
He's hilarious.
His brother's Legao, so he's.
Oh yeah. I haven't met him in person, but I have met Dave. He's cool.
Yeah, I think Dave.
Joy oi!
He's basically a Legao in spirit. He is both.
He is the Asian.
He is the Asian.
His wife is the libertarian wife of an Asian man.
He's the Asian wife.
You're just an Asian man, David. You're welcome. You're part of the fam. When you're that good at Vietnamese.
Oh wow! I didn't realize that Beto had him pull out of school and let him go. I didn't know that. That's
Wow.
crazy. Wow.
Letting me guide myself. Oh, you got to tell us more. Like what age?
I didn't know that. I had no idea.
For the person saying it's pure madness to advocate against public schools, I just want to say, compared to what? Right. It is pure madness to tax people and basically take and own their property. Okay, that's what funds public schools. It's property taxes. That's what's madness. Property taxation. That all needs to be abolished. Children, like parents, why should your parents be taxed? Why should your parents not actually own the home that they worked their ass off to have and provide for you? Right? If they miss the property tax, they pay off their mortgage. Maybe they're on a fixed income and they can't pay their property taxes, or they lost their job and they're in between jobs and they can't pay the property tax. Is that not insane? The government can just take your property from you if you don't pay your property taxes. Is that not madness? Anyway, I hope that helps you, but you should really understand and figure out the nature of government.
Well, and a big part, like, so for those who are not familiar with why is schooling unethical in the compulsory sense, I'll just give a quick 1-minute rundown. So essentially the compulsory schooling paradigm was originally created in the national sense with the Prussian government trying to get a bunch of obedient soldiers for the battlefield who would die because they would basically not want to go fight the wars for the government. It's like, okay, we need an indoctrination program that's with young people so that they will be willing to die in battle. It was later used as a tool of colonialization. So basically natives from different countries, you can go look this up. It's called Indian boarding schools. They were literally pulled from their homes. So they pulled little kids from native cultures into these schools so that they could be westernized and controlled. And they'd break up the native tribes that, were still resisting the colonial occupation. Later, it was retooled to become used for controlling young people for the sake of obedience to government, and then, of course, in a sense, tuned for factory work, which is kind of why you have this like broken up subject by subject schooling system, changing things to the tune of a bell. Now, on top of that, schooling itself basically is just saying that if you want to be successful, you have to be both willing and able to obey what the teacher says, right? Because your knowledge about general things is not what's being graded. Your grades are based on obedience. So even if you know the topic, if you refuse to do homework, if you refuse to do projects, you get zeros. You're going to be a C student, maybe a D student, right? You have to turn in stuff. So that's why a lot of high IQ kids, even who get bored with stuff, they don't do their homework, they don't do their projects, they have low grades. Because again, it's about whether you're willing to turn the stuff in. Now, this one-size-fits-all schooling paradigm is just based on a random age thing, even though everybody has biological differences at which they mature. Your brain is actually maturing up through maybe even 25 or so, and everybody's on a different scale. So you have kids broken up by age groups, and it's a very narrow one-year band, and they're told that they must perform in a certain way and be willing and able to do that no matter what their home life is like, no matter if their parents just got divorced, no matter whether they're being abused, whether food resourcing is tough. They're told they must obey, and if they don't comply, they are going to be graded with socioeconomic stigmas called grades that will limit their ability and their privileges, which means that the kids who have the most support and they have the most resources and they're most willing to obey are the ones who are favored. So the schooling system, ultimately, by the time you're a senior, delivers a student who is most willing and able to obey the dictates of teachers over years, whereas those who are not, whether it's philosophical or because of biological or home life issues, are stigmatized and kept out of the rewards and privileges that come with being an honors student and being able to go on school trips and have connections for things like that. So schooling really is nothing more than a sorting process for those who are most willing and able to obey, which is what's favored by those in the state because they want to elevate those to higher academics and eventually government positions. People who are most willing to tote whatever is being told to them to regurgitate for the sake of those in current power and affluence and influence. So that's in a nutshell why schooling is unethical. And not only that, it actually erodes children's creativity over time. There's a great video about this with Ken Robinson called Paperclip, talking about how kids lose their creativity over time because, again, they're forced to just distract themselves from anything that their own goals or anything outside of school because, whatever a teacher says, that's most important. Even if it's not important for the kid's life and they're going to memorize the trivia and forget it, it's you better do this or you're getting an F. So schooling is inherently a psychological brainwashing control program that begins with nationalism, with the pledge every day, right? Kids saying, hey, I pledge my life to a government before they even know what the heck the government's even doing or what it's all about. So there you go. That's what schooling is. I can personally
wasn't 1 minute, but it was a 5-minute nutshell.
I am an expert. I'm a field expert in this by virtue of being a juvenile defense attorney who's worked in this area. And I've been a public school teacher and a charter school teacher, a subschool teacher, and a tutoring company owner, as well as having been myself a student who excelled and went to private schools and then later state schools and stuff like that. So I have seen every aspect of this in the educational paradigm. I've seen really bad schools and good schools. Oh, and I should also add, my dad was a 30-year New York City school teacher, and I visited the schools that he went at that were inner city. I've seen schools around the United States. I've tutored students around the United States. I've worked with students across crappy schools to like really rich schools. I've seen it all. So I can say with confidence, and this is my area.
Yeah, but compulsory nature, it's whether it's a top funded school, a really rich school, or a really poor school, it's not about that. You can have a really rich compulsory school. Either way, it's the compulsory aspect that is really corrosive to a child's mindset. It takes a child who's really naturally curious and loves learning and makes them think that learning is now a chore, makes them believe that learning is something that can only happen in a classroom, when learning is ad hoc, everyday, spontaneous, whenever you want. It's a choice whenever you want, and it's self-directed. I really like what Michael said here in the chat. Michael McIntyre, he says, also monopoly. Hey, Michael. He says, also monopolies are bad and lead to higher costs and lower quality. We need competition in education. Right. So exactly. So if you understand that about monopolies, which funny enough, that's what they teach in government public schools. They're like, monopolies are bad, right? That's why government comes in and breaks up monopolies. But what they don't tell you in school is how government is literally the biggest monopoly of them all. They have a monopoly on violence. They have a monopoly ownership over you, your body, your property, and the bodies and properties of your friends and family, your whole community. That's what government is. It's just a monopoly of violence within a geographical area. And that's it. If you get why monopolies are bad, you will understand why, especially a monopoly on violence, is really bad.
Right.
So I guess we'll end with that. With that action there, I really want to thank all the people who came out. Robert, you're awesome. I got a drink to you if you'll fill me up with one more shot, Jack. For Robert.
Have to get like pizza or something to sober up, honestly.
Yeah, but we're going to cheers to Robert before we say goodnight. And I want to say, Crawford, thank you for being here. Thank you so much for being a fiducer. Take care. Love y'all.
Cheers, Crawford.
I'm glad you're going on a hike. Might need one after this. Going to need to go on a hike as well. Burn off this alcohol. Michael, thank you for being here. Good friend. Say hi to Lauren for me. And I want to say Megan and Jim Bob, they're already asleep. But thank you so much for coming out. That was really cool to have you here. And I know it's Jim, not Jim Bob, but that's
Jim
your
Bob
channel.
Works.
But yeah, thanks so much, everybody in the chat. Ellis420, you've been cool. Imperial Guard, thanks so much. Really appreciate you coming out and hanging the whole time. Really hope you had a fun time tonight like we did. So
yeah.
And thanks everybody for the support. Take care. Stay dangerous. Like Mercenary said, disobey, how you can. And keep spreading liberty and the truth out there, folks. It's up to us. Keep spreading the light. And we'll see you next time. And hopefully we'll see you this next weekend in Washington State. So hopefully we'll see you at the LP Washington.
Yeah,
event.
LP Washington.
Everyone coming
I'm going to
out.
throw that out one more time because it is an important event. And I want to make sure everybody has a link. So
so there's separated tickets for those. So you can check that out. And for us, it'll be the Friday night mixer event where we're going to have some karaoke and some fun time. So hope to see you there. But yeah, all right. Well, thanks everybody. Have a great Sunday morning if you're on the East Coast or in international. And otherwise, have a good night, everybody else. And take care. Bye. Cheese.